Hello, everyone. We are back with another session of Headshots and Tea Time where we are covering your favorite video game. We have a couple of responses from some of our viewers. Thank you very much for being a part of today's session. Joining us for today's Headshots and Tea Time will be Masalmon, King, Q, Moofy, TB, Mark Not Mark, and of course myself. Without further ado, let's get into it.
So my favorite video game is Mortal Kombat because it's not big. I just like fighting games, and I really like Scorpion. He's one of my favorite characters. I main him. I also main Kung Lao, but I really like Scorpion's when his catch like lines, so like get over here and stuff like that. I really like it. So my favorite game is Mortal Kombat, mainly 11. Yeah.
Uh, Currently, there are three I can think of off the top of my head that I've recently fallen in love with. I've been a huge fan of Fire Emblem since the DS days because I like tactical stuff. Tactics games are just the greatest to me. Plus, I just like the idea of big number go boom. Same thing is kind of applies to Baldur's Gate 3, which I have played a while. I have been on that for a minute. It was the first game I bought when I got my PlayStation 5. And the third game I can think of that's like a favorite is Tomodachi Life. I love that series. It's just like a funnier version of The Sims, and I think it does what The Sims wants to do, but in a better way.
Starting off today's session will be King. We will be covering his favorite video games.
All right, so my name is King. When it comes to gaming, I really love fighting games. So if I'm gonna go off of a fighting game that I really enjoy, might be a little biased, Tekken 7, because me and the homies would play that game for hours. It's fun as hell. We could also go with Minecraft because Minecraft. Who doesn't love Minecraft? It's nice, relaxing. You just get to play, and you have like we know like that 2 week Minecraft phase kicks in every once in a while, and we all have that one friend when you start a Minecraft phase who, from spawn goes the very opposite side of the map, then puts their base there, then speed runs and kills the Ender Dragon in 2 minutes, and the whole realm's just like I don't know what else we need to do. I want to say also one of my other favorite games is Hollow Knight, and I fucking love Titanfall 2. Yeah, it pisses me off that we haven't gotten Titanfall 3. That game came out in 2016. EA sent it out to die because it was competing between Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1. And they said Titan 2 in between that. That's not fair to Titanfall 2. That game is amazing. Hashtag bring back Titanfall 3.
Those are some good picks. Like I can't even front Titanfall 2. Delicious.
It's criminal that game hasn't gotten a third one yet, man. That thing's came out almost 10 years ago.
Now, while I feel you on the fighting game front, I was always more into like hyper fighters and also MK because I played a lot of Mortal Kombat as a kid, and I've also played Street Fighter versus Marvel. And then
Oh, Marvel vs. Capcom?
yeah, then it became MVC2 Supremacy. I'm sorry.
Okay, I can respect it.
A close second, I would say, is Third Strike for Street Fighter.
Also valid picks here for fighting games.
But nah, those are some solid picks. As for the Minecraft thing, I actually didn't get super into Minecraft because when it first came out, I was still in high school and I was already well within my obsessions.
That's fair.
I don't think Minecraft is something you just like. It's like
Avoid.
one day, yeah, you can't avoid it. You really can't avoid it. It's just something that is like it's like a disease, you know. Once you play it, there is no going back. There is no
That is
going back.
fair.
It's like a worm that like, you know, makes itself a little home in your heart, and it'll sit there and fester and make a whole colony, and it's just, you know, R.I.P. R.I.P. the black market. R.I.P. the black market. Oh my
Worms
gosh.
in your head. Okay, what drugs have you been doing?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused on
Just-
where this is going.
Like I said, it's Minecraft, one of the most popular, like the most sold game of all time. Really popular. Everybody's played it at least once in their life. You really can't go wrong with it.
You really
there's-
can't go
there's a
wrong
reason
with it.
the 2 week Minecraft phase is a thing for a reason, dog. Like you play Minecraft for 2 weeks, someone kills someone's dog, and then the whole server goes to war, and then the server because the trolling gets really bad and nobody wants to play, and then the server dies again.
Exactly.
And in 2 weeks
That
later, you do it
is
all
fair.
over again.
That is fair. It happens all the time. It's literally like the black market issue. Like I literally gave up
Mm.
gaming because of the black market incident of 1995.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to ask. I would like to inquire more about
What
that,
is
but
that
it's
even
not a
supposed to
business.
mean? What is it even supposed to mean?
You'll
Yeah.
understand later.
We'll tell you. We'll tell you when you're older.
We'll tell you when you're older.
That don't even make any sense.
If we go back to episode whenever it was of Headshots and Tea Time, I do cover what the black market is. I believe it is why
Okay.
we became content creators. And the black market is
Okay.
essentially it's a black and purple heart-shaped building that was kind of like going into the ground of like, you know, a place in Minecraft. And when you walked inside of the black market, the floor would open up through a secret button, and it would just reveal a cavern of different things. And on this server, my friend Frost decided that he wanted to invite all of his friends, and then one of them went and just blew up the entire thing. And this is on survival on the server. So, but he could have reset it, but he
Hell yeah.
didn't, because like I think somebody else reset it previously, and like their reset would have overlapped mine because it happened during the same time, or they couldn't like figure out the time frame, so it was lost, and then I gave up. And there was no
That's why you
defense
need
okay.
to
in
go
it.
back.
But I was like, I spent like a whole month on it, honestly.
Me and one of my good friends at the time, my friend, my buddy Set, we actually made this. So my friend, this is a Minecraft server where like a ton of drama happened, so the server kind of died. We kept playing because we enjoyed the game, right? So we made this world tree. So the Minecraft server had this floating island that my base was on with another friend of mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided we're gonna envelop the tree with the world tree of Yggdrasil. So we chopped down every tree in a 50-mile radius, got all the wood types, and kind of sprouted it up into the island. And then the island would be like the neck of the or like the leaves, and we kind of like branch off from there. And we just never finished the project. It was too much at once.
I feel like some of the best like servers that have like the most grandest of ideas and like the best people end up fighting each other, and it just goes downhill so fast.
I had a buddy of mine who his name was Beta. Put on an invis potion to find where I was hiding my loot, diamonds and shit. He lived as far away from the group as possible, right? And then like if I was on the server, he tried to like find shit. So I had to like hide my shit in the floor until suddenly I saw an invis particle effect next to me. I was like, okay, I'm just swinging my sword. He flew out of the building. Never found his base. To this day, I'm tempted to get my buddy Jaden to turn the server back on to find his base because it was a roam. But I'm rambling on.
Alrighty. So definitely Minecraft is a big, like one of the most played games, I feel like, and I really love Minecraft a lot, and you can't really go wrong with it. But I feel like it'll definitely tear some friendships apart if you're not careful. Alrighty, Maze, what would you say are your top 3 or 5 video games?
Dude, I don't even know. Like that's a hard question to answer. I don't know, man. Like top 3, it's hard to say. There's so many good games. It's hard to like rank them and pick like a top 3. Like
Pick
obviously
something that you're
Minecraft's a
currently
good
playing,
game,
or
you know.
something that,
Oh, that I'm currently playing.
or
Dude, I
something
don't
that
even
you
play games
genuinely
that
really
much.
like, you know?
Currently
You know?
playing right now, so I don't know how many of y'all like JRPGs, but I've been playing Expedition 33 recently,
I've heard
and
nothing but good things about that one.
that game's a goddamn
All right.
masterpiece.
Mm.
Yeah, no, the things you have heard are very likely correct. It's a wonderful game. I mean, they surprisingly
it
managed to
redeems them
do
a
a
little
very
bit.
good job.
It redeems them slightly.
It's genuinely a very good game. I mean, the music alone, I think, elevates it to Game of the Year. Just the music alone, it's an amazing soundtrack. I think it's something like 8 hours of soundtrack. and all
Jeez.
of it is amazing, like genuinely amazing. Some of the best video game music I've ever heard.
Oh, I feel like just JRPGs in general just have phenomenal music. I like name a
Some of
single
them do.
JRPG that doesn't have great music.
I don't play a lot of JRPGs, so I can't name five
I mean,
JRPGs off the top of my head, but
I feel like Nier Automata is like a really good example of like solid music the whole way through the game. I heard Expedition 33 is amazing. Persona is just Persona. That's just gas. They remade the
uh,
game and the soundtrack went harder in the remake. That's kind of crazy.
I
Honestly,
Anyway,
haven't
to
heard
me.
that much good about Persona soundtrack. Like I've heard the game is supposed to be pretty good, but I
Hmm.
haven't heard that much about the soundtrack. What I did hear a lot about was Metaphor Refantasio. I heard that soundtrack was quite good in that game as well.
Hmm.
But I mean, like JRPGs, like some of them have really good music, some of them have okay music. But like
Hmm.
this is like Expedition 33, like the music in that game is like it's on another level. This is like it's a lot of it's very orchestral too. So it would
Hmm.
fit in as like just a symphony. Like you could like go to the theater and just like listen to a symphony, and like half of it or more could be like soundtrack from the game, and it would fit in and it would work because it's that good. Like it's genuinely very good music. Like the soundtrack
Hmm.
is amazing. The gameplay, it's a turn-based JRPG. I like turn-based combat. I happen to like turn-based combat. And you don't see a lot of turn-based games these days. It's not very common, so I think it's pretty cool for that. It's got some real-time bits in there too, which is kind of fun. The graphics are really good, but my computer's kind of garbage, so it doesn't really work. I end up having to play it on the Steam Deck, and it it doesn't look amazing on there, but if you have a good PC, the graphics are really good. The story is
Hmm.
also phenomenal. Like I'm not super far into the game, so I haven't experienced the whole story yet, but the bits that I have experienced, phenomenal. I mean, it makes you care about the world and care about the characters within the first 30 minutes of the game, and it's just prologue. If you're a particularly emotional person, the prologue alone will make you cry.
Hmm.
Phenomenal game. I don't know if I would say it's a favorite or not. I've played a lot of games, and I'm barely into this one. I'm only a couple hours into it. So just to list a recent game that I've been playing that I thought was really good, Expedition 33 is very good.
I feel like a way to rephrase the question, if it's a little bit difficult to pick your top three, if you had your memory erased, right? You had like no recollection of any video games ever. What would be the first game you want to play again?
That's also a hard question to answer, but that also kind of limits it down to like story games that have a story.
Yeah.
Alien Isolation was really good. That was a cool game.
Ooh, yeah, that's a solid pick. Solid pick. That's a phenomenal game.
The
The
AI is
AI
really
alone.
cool, especially once you learn how it works. It kind of ruins it whenever you learn how it works, but the AI was really well designed.
Mm.
But it's just a cool game in general. I mean, like it looks amazing especially considering when it came out. Like it came out a while ago, and yet like the graphics are still, they hold up today. Their rendering tech was just really good, and the story is pretty good. It's not groundbreaking, but it's a pretty decent story. The gameplay's pretty all right. Nothing groundbreaking, but for a horror game, really good. I mean, come on, it's a great horror game. There's really not much else like it.
I want
You
to
know,
slightly branch off of the graphics topic. I want to slightly branch off of the graphics topic, and I want to ask you a question. Do you think graphics are the end all be all in a game, or do you think like art style matters over graphics, or do you think graphics matters over art
well,
style?
art style plays in the graphics, right?
Mm.
Like you can't have graphics without an art style. Like you necessarily have an art style with your graphics, right?
Mm.
Um, Oftentimes people, whenever they talk about graphics, they refer, what they really mean when people say graphics is realism. A lot of people, when
Mm.
they say the
Mhm.
game has good graphics, what they really mean is it looks very realistic.
Or it just looks really
So
badass. Like this whole scenery looks cool, but I'm gonna refer to it as the graphics. I'm like, oh my gosh, these graphics look amazing. And it's very
sometimes
solid. I mean, some games have it really solid, but does it define a game? Like, does it define the game whenever, you play a game? It can have like really bad
well,
graphics or really good story, but does it define it? If it's not good, is it just a bad game?
I mean, I think sometimes people say graphics just to mean when something looks cool, but I think it's generally much more commonly when people say this game has good graphics, they generally mean it looks very realistic. I don't see very many cases where a game is very heavily stylized, not a very realistic art style, but very heavily stylized. and people go, man, the graphics in this game are amazing. Instead, what they say is, this game looks really cool. Like, are graphics like an end all be all? I mean, it depends on the game, right? So, if your game is particularly atmospheric, like Alien Isolation is, so a big part of what makes Alien Isolation what it is the soundscape. So, there's a lot of sounds that sound kind of far away and very quiet and muffled and in the distance, and sometimes you can hear things that sound like there's an alien crawling around you, but you don't really know. And it's just it builds the atmosphere, right? But another part of that is the graphics, right? Does it look realistic? If the game looked like trash, you wouldn't be nearly as immersed in the game, right? And that's just a fact. Like, for you to get immersed in something, it has to look good. It doesn't necessarily need to be realistic. You can get immersed in games that do not have realistic PBR art styles, but if that is the art style that the game is going for, like Alien and most other modern video games these days, if they're going for a realism PBR art style, then the better the graphics are, the more immersed, or at least it'll help you be more immersed in the game. It obviously has to come with everything else, like having good audio, good sound design, like the animations need to look realistic, the physics need to feel real. Like, the game needs to feel real if you want the game to feel real, right? It's a silly statement, but it's true, right? Like, if
Oh,
you want a game to
I
feel real,
mean,
you need good graphics, you need good sound design. Like, everything needs to be good and accurate-ish to real life. And the closer you can get to that, the more immersive it is. And if your game is kind of hinged on the more immersive it is, the better the game is. Like with Alien, like the more immersed you are in that game, like the better it is to like as a player experience. So if that's the kind of game you're talking about, I mean, it kind of does matter like how good your graphics are. But if you're talking about something else where it's very, very heavily stylized, then that might not be the case. Like, for example, Return of the Obra Dinn is a very, very stylized game, very heavily stylized. Um, so does that game have good graphics? Not really. It's stylized. It's a particular style. I mean, it's literally black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Not grayscale, not grayscale, black and white. There are only white pixels or very dark gray pixels, no in between. Right? So it's very heavily
also,
stylized. It looks really cool.
so chiming in and
So
trying to pick up that little rap like where you picked up on sound design. Um, I feel like the best types of sound design in gaming in general is like sound design that you don't as a gamer you don't particularly notice. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like you have to
It
like
all it
you
all,
have
it
to,
all comes down to the game, though. Honestly, it all
yeah.
comes down to
Yeah,
the
it
game
really
when it comes
does.
to sound design. Because there are some games where sound design is immaculate and it goes such a long way. Like, let's take a look back at Street Fighter 6 real quick.
Mhm.
Um, Somebody who was basically legally blind was able to place in top eight in one of the highest in a really important SF6 tournament because of like audio design and accessibility.
Which sorry,
Audio.
it's insanely cool and cool and like awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I
That's
feel
like
like
really, really badass, honestly.
yeah.
Imagine.
Like I'm okay. Respectfully, imagine getting your ass beat by a blind dude because he read your footsies from the way this foot was fucking sliding on the ground. That's awesome,
It is really awesome. Not the footsies.
bro.
Oh my
Bro, read
gosh.
your combo. Bro, read. He knew you dropped the combo because he heard it before. Daredevil was playing Street Fighter 6 that day and beat your ass. That's kind of crazy.
That is really crazy. I do have an example of a game that has like beautiful like art stylized and graphics. I mean, there's this game in Fortnite that is like Sneaky Snipers Part 2. Okay, look, listen. The first one you can't see hardly see anything. Okay, you can hardly see anything. And on the second one, the grass is beautiful, like there's butterflies and everything looks like you're in a field and it looks really pretty and the design is there. But the map itself is very small and the game is just you can't actually settle down to be a sniper or to like the way the game is intended to be, if that makes sense. Like the premise is not there, but the like graphics, quote unquote, or the way it looks is there. It looks a lot more defined and you can actually see things but the map in itself is super small and you can't actually snipe the way you're supposed to.
Mm.
So I think that's a
Mm.
very great takeaway from that specific game mode, just because, like, I would love to play the game just because it looks really great and everything, but I can't actually play the game without my attention span being like, okay, I'm done, because I just can't. I can't play this game without getting sniped every like 2 seconds of being alive, because it's just so small.
Mm.
But the first one was really great. You know, there's plenty of space, but you just can't see anything. And I mean, that's the point. And it's really funny whenever you actually snipe somebody, like, and everything is literally pixelated and just like black. And it's like a 200-yard snipe. That's kind of crazy.
I feel like there are certain games though to like have like a realistic graphic style,
Mm
or like realistic art style, but also like have a stylized world almost, kind of like the Doom games, like the recent like Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, and all that.
hmm. Mm
Because like it looks still really realistic, but it's like super almost like military grayscale, but like metal. It's really fucking cool. Like, sorry, nerding out about the Doom games recently. The Doom games, they sorry, side tangent on the side tangent. They did Mick Gordon dirty in those games. They
They
should have
really
paid
did.
him. I'm pissed about that still.
It's only the new one. Didn't they switch to someone else after Eternal?
Yeah, because they didn't. They actively tried to avoid paying him.
Well, I forget exactly what it was, but they screwed him really bad on Eternal,
Mm,
and then he's not gonna work with them unless they do him right, and they don't want to.
yeah, which is annoying. They should have. I feel like if you have like a talented, like he's doing a phenomenal job with the soundtrack. Where you get like, if you're an actual audio person, there's like little Easter eggs where you can really enjoy it. Why not try and keep that talent and keep him happy and not treat him like shit? He wasn't asking for much. He was just asking to get paid for his work. But whatever. Sorry.
I think what it was is he wanted the rights to the music, and the
Mhm.
studio didn't want to do that. Like
No
basically, they
problem.
were like, "You're gonna produce this music for us, and we're gonna own all the rights to it." And I think he wanted to mix his own music too, and they didn't want him to mix it. They wanted some other guy to mix it. He was like, "No, I did all it. I want to mix it."
From what I understand about the controversy, about the Mick Gordon stuff, I remember hearing that he was working on the game for a while, and they asked him to basically make the entire Doom Eternal soundtrack in a ridiculously short amount of time, while also during that period not paying him.
Yeah, they went a long while without paying him, so it was like you do all this, he did all the work, and then like it took a while for him to be paid for it. But I think there were things where it's like he wanted to have the full rights to it and then essentially license it
Mm-hmm.
to Bethesda so that, he would own the copyright, but Bethesda would have a permanent license to it, which I
Yeah.
think is what they did on Doom 2016. But
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want to do that with Doom Eternal. They wanted Bethesda to own the rights to it, and then Mick Gordon wouldn't have the rights to it. And I think, I don't know if any of this is true, but I think he wanted to also mix it himself, but Bethesda had someone else internally. They wanted to mix it for the game, but he wanted to do all the mixing.
Yeah.
I think that was what had happened, but it was a very long time ago when I read about it. But I vaguely remember it being something like that. And
I gotta
obviously
double
he
check.
didn't want that. He ended up, he got paid, whatever he got paid, and Bethesda
Mhm.
kept the rights to all the music. And I don't think he really wants to work with them anymore, unless they
Which
like suddenly give him the rights to the music back and let him
good on
have
him
his
for that,
way.
because like he's a very talented like he's very talented in just making soundtracks for anything. So like he can get a job anywhere for like any games at all. Because if the Doom soundtrack is like this still talked about to this day, and Doom Eternal came out like a couple years. Like when did Doom Eternal come out again?
I don't know. It was a few years ago.
2020. No. Doom
One?
Doom Eternal came out during COVID 2020.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah.
yeah. Like since it came out during COVID, yeah, he could. And it's still talked about to this day about like how well the soundtrack's mixed and created. He's probably gonna find he'll be fine.
Yeah, no, yeah, because you gotta remember that came out during the whole Isabella Doom guy craze.
I forgot about that. But I honestly did forget he did Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
But like I feel like he kind of like blew up and got way more popular because of Doom. Just because the
Well,
Doom soundtrack
yeah.
is so much more metal, the eighth string, the whole vibes of the game.
The only thing they fear is you. Let's go.
Mm, mm.
I
Right. And
mean,
so he's a good fit for the game series. I think they should go with Mick Gordon. I think, they'll find other people that'll make the music and it will still be good. It's not going to have Mick Gordon's style,
Mm.
but it'll still be good. And I think it's unfortunate that he's getting screwed on Eternal, and he doesn't
Mm.
get to contribute his style to the game because he was very good with it.
Both Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal.
Well,
What he
I
did.
would say with how Mick Gordon did with the Doom soundtrack is about as iconic as the Halo 2 version of the intro with Steve Vai, which was really fucking good.
Mm.
Yeah, it's iconic.
It is really iconic.
But getting back on topic, I believe I was talking about like how the Doom games have a very almost like realistic art style, but it's still like very stylized in that sense.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if
What's
I
like
would call it stylized. It's a full PBR like pipeline. It's really not stylized at all. It's full PBR. It's just it's so exotic and out of this world that you might think that it's stylized, but it's really not.
I don't know. I feel like I just like maybe like more of my opinion there, but I feel like it's like more like it's stylized the way like the way the hellscapes are and demons and the super shotgun and some of the weapons are really cool. They're not real, not really very realistic, but like the way they use
Yeah, the
colors and pastel.
designs aren't grounded
Yeah,
in reality, right?
yeah.
Like it's that's what I mean. Like the rendering pipeline is a full PBR pipeline.
Mm-hmm,
It's the same as like Call of Duty. Like it's a PBR pipeline. But the difference is that like we don't have hell like on Earth
mm-hmm,
in real life, so we don't know what hell is supposed to look like. So if you make hell in a game or like a hell on Earth in a game, it's not going to look realistic, right? It's going to look out of this world because it's not on this world. It's completely different.
mm-hmm.
But the rendering style, like the artistic style itself, is a PBR, like realistic. Like they accurately mimic the way light interacts with objects in the real world,
Okay,
is
okay,
like
okay.
essentially what they're doing. Like that's the art style. It's a PBR art style. Physically based rendering is what PBR stands for.
Okay, I was actually about to ask that. I didn't actually fully understand what PBR meant.
Yeah, it's physically based rendering. Most like modern AAA games use a PBR kind of pipeline. So like everything that they design in the game, graphically wise,
Mm-hmm,
is designed using the idea of materials. So you create this material and it's going to interact with light in these particular ways. And, there's a lot of like rendering magic that goes behind how that actually works. But the gist of it is just that you're trying to imagine how this material would actually work in real life, and you design a shader that would mimic that so that whenever the game goes to render it, it looks like it would in real life. So then you can have like realistic metal, and you can have like bricks, and it looks like it would in real life from every angle, and light
yeah.
interacts with it like you'd expect it to. And you can take that into unrealistic situations, right? And it's going to look totally different, but it is still a PBR pipeline. So Doom
Cool,
isn't very
cool.
stylized in the art style, right? The architecture like that, right? And like the setting is a very like maybe stylized kind of thing, but like the art style, not really, right?
So what's a good? Well, let me like talk about art styles and examples of that. I'll think of something later. But continue where it's.
I did remember whenever someone brought whoever it was that brought up sound design, I wanted
Mhm.
to mention specifically Elite Dangerous for sound design because it is, I mean, out of any game that I've played, I think it has some of the best sound design out of any video game I have
Mm,
ever played. The sound design is impeccable.
mm,
I mean, it's amazing, right? So it's a space game, right? I don't know if you
mhm.
know anything about Elite Dangerous, but
I've heard a little bit about it.
it's a very, very cool space game, right? And they
Mm,
do take some creative liberties with it because sound shouldn't travel in space, but that would be really, really boring.
mm,
So, obviously they don't do that. Instead, things they don't work in a realistic way because it would be boring and not very fun. So, other ships can make noises that you can hear in your ship even though that doesn't make sense. It's just there's lore reasons behind it, but it doesn't matter that they did that because it's more fun that way. Whenever you fire like the guns on your ship, like, they did whenever they were designing the game, they did a model where what would happen if the sound only traveled through like the metal of the ship. They did like some kind of like analysis where they figured out like how like to filter the audio to do that, and it sounded like crap, so they
mhm.
didn't do that. And right, but they did a good job in making it so that someone else pointed out like good sound design is whenever it's not particularly in your face, right? And that
Yeah.
is true. They did a very good job. So like when you fire the weapons on your ship, it doesn't like stand out as being odd. It just kind of sounds right, and
Mhm.
that like under the thrusters, it all sounds right. But then it's a space game, so there's like really, really big things, right? You're flying around really fast. The soundtrack is very subtle whenever you're like not really doing anything, so it's not like overly in your face or anything. The soundtrack's really subtle. There's more tense music for when you're having more tense moments, and it works really well. But
Hmm.
also, there's like really big ships, and when they warp in, like the sound effects that they created for that are like it's hard to describe. Like like it really sounds like this. There's this big ship that's like ripping a hole in space time, right? Like it
Mm.
really kind of sounds like it. Like they've just done an incredible job, and like the sounds for like going into hyperspace, just like everything that they've done in the game, it's they've done an incredibly good job. They were truly passionate when they were making that game in every way.
I'd like to break off from the sound design and talk about, like, I feel like at least with like modern gaming, game companies and gaming in general has been like more commercialized. There's reasons why, like, I feel like gaming these days just hasn't been as good as it used to be, and I might be attributing it to nostalgia. But at the same time, like, games have been coming out more broken and janky and just not functioning the way like games back in the day would.
Or
Unfinished.
gotcha.
Mm.
Fuck
Or like pay to
gotcha.
win.
Different thing.
Fuck
Yeah.
gotcha games. I'm sorry if you like any kind of gotcha game. I'm sorry you're a sucker, but hey,
Mm.
you do you.
Well, gacha
But I
games
feel
are
like
kind of different though. They've been a thing in Asia for a long time, like over a decade. They're just more popular in the
mm,
West now.
mm. But I feel like due to well, it's two things. One, as a game company, like as an indie dev goes to like a bigger company, they end up becoming more focused on profits and shareholders, almost like putting the quality of the game to the side. And two, so these game dev companies, right? I remember like looking at some articles and like reading some story and like listening and watching some videos about this, where basically like if a company or like a small dev team of 100 people wanted to get a game out and like if a guy from team one wanted to fix something on team two, it would take maybe like a couple hours to fix. But when these game companies and these dev teams have like teams of hundreds of people and multiple different teams working on different aspects of the game, like somebody asking for a AI model to test something in the game could take a week versus with a smaller team it could take like one day. It's almost like the too many cooks in the kitchen situation, right?
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
at a certain number of people, the efficiency of stuff just goes down.
It really does. And you can tell
It's less
and
so the
then
number of people and more so where they're being allocated to.
Yeah, that and like with the like almost every single AAA game this like in the past couple of years has just been like a letdown after a letdown. I was like, why is it like that? I'm figuring out. It's like, oh, it's just either like the game direction or they cutting out features to add them back in later, or they're like due to games as a service as a whole, um, and the popularization of Fortnite. They're like, we want to copy that idea, and like Fortnite wasn't the downfall of gaming. It's just like game devs want to kind of become the
No,
next
it was.
Fortnite. I wouldn't say it is downfall gaming. I'd
No,
say like
it's Fortnite killed like a lot of like it killed gaming very badly. Like it wasn't, the
Honestly,
number one thing that ruined gaming and gaming is bad now and wow.
mhm.
Like it
honestly,
didn't do that, right?
it's the live service model that killed it. It was way before like Fortnite even went like
No,
went the I
not really. Fortnite did it
agree
in
to
such a
disagree.
way. No,
Agree
but
to
here's the
disagree.
thing. But here's the thing, right? So live service games had been a thing prior to
Okay.
Fortnite, and they worked and they made money. But Fortnite, what the difference with Fortnite is that it was free.
I
Most
will
live
just
service games were
okay.
not free. They had limited numbers of players, they had limited monetization. Prior to Fortnite, like the worst example of monetization you could point out was either Overwatch or Counter-Strike. Those are like the worst cases of monetization you could point out.
If we're gonna talk about this, Fortnite wasn't always free either.
mm,
I
When it
firmly
wasn't a live
I
service game when it wasn't free, right?
which is true, but at the same time, Fortnite was actually a live service prior to the battle royale mode due to the
Kind
state of the
of.
world mode getting content updates and the llama system, which had monetization. But I feel like due to Fortnite popularizing live services, game companies and suits or executives saw the Fortnite model, saw how much money they were raking in, and went, okay, let's make a live service. And even if the overhead cost right now is like, say for a brand new game with like decent graphics, decent story, all this stuff costs like I don't know $20 million. Like we're going to take the hit now and we're going to recoup it in microtransactions, which is why like every skin in every single modern game with live services costs like $20.
Well, that's
Even though
every
back in the
game,
day when
right?
Call of
Like
Duty
we're
came
gonna
out, it was like
spend all
five
this
seven.
money now to make the game, and then we release it. We're gonna recoup it when everyone buys the game. So like the difference
Mm,
between live service and not necessarily a live service, but free with other monetization methods, is
Mm.
that if you have a game and it's free, tons of people are going to download it, right? Especially if it's a good game, tons of people are going to download
Mm.
it. But if you have monetization like in the game, you know, you keep buying those things. Those are recurring purchases, right? So people keep buying things in your game. So you could have one person spend $300 on the game in a relatively short span of time, whereas if you didn't have that monetization in the game and it was a $30 game, they would only spend $30 on the game. Like that's it. They would buy the game, it would cost them $30, and there's no additional monetization, and they're not going to pay for any of that. Now you could do both, right? So you charge
Mm.
money for the game, and you have monetization in the game. And some games did that, like Rainbow Six. You could pay for all the operators and stuff, but the game still cost money, right?
Mm.
And so it limited the number of players because not everyone wants to spend $30, $60 on a game, you know like not everyone wants to do that, right? Because not everyone can afford to, like especially children. Like children don't have money, right? Their parents have to buy them games, right? And
Mm.
not all, and even like outside of children, like teenagers or even adults who just don't have that much money, or maybe they have money but they don't play games that often, so they don't really want to spend the $30 or $60 on a game if they're not even really sure they're going to play it for more than 2 hours. But you make a game and it's free, all kinds of people are going to download it. Everyone's going to download it. And then you also get this really fun effect where someone downloads the game. They think it's fun. But like, you know what would be more fun? If I got all 6 of my friends that play this game, and guess what? The game's free. No one has to buy it. You don't have to convince your friends to buy the game. They just download it and you all play it. So now everyone's playing this game. But there's monetization built in. And let's say a flat 10% of every person that plays the game is going to engage with the monetization. You now have, however many players you can retain, so you keep player retention up. As long as you keep your player retention up, a flat 10% of all your players are just going to and spending all this money on your game, and it's just infinite money, right? And like I forget what they call it in the games industry. I think they call it a unicorn, right? Because like you make your
Mm.
one game that's really good, and it stays live forever, and everyone keeps playing it, right? So like Fortnite, it's a unicorn. Call of Duty with Warzone, they kind of had it for a while, but no one really plays Warzone anymore, right? So now
Mm.
it's just they make a new Call of Duty game every year. Like that's their thing, right? They know how much it costs to make a Call of Duty game. They know roughly how much money they make whenever they release one. So like that's kind of their unicorn. It's not as good as like Fortnite, where it literally is just live forever, and they just
Mm.
release new skins, and it's relatively low cost to add new skins and add new content to the game, and they just make infinite money by doing that.
Mm.
But when Fortnite did the battle royale thing, right? And they're doing, the battle pass. Like the battle pass is really like what fucked the industry really hard because it's
Mm.
such an effective and disgusting and terrible monetization technique, and it works so well. Killed the entire industry because every single company now sees the battle pass and is like, you know what? We have to do that because look at how much money they're making off of the battle pass. So now every game has to have a battle pass in it. And every game
Mm.
has to have atrocious monetization because they saw how much money Fortnite was making. They go, hold on, we don't actually have to make decent single player games anymore. We don't have to make decent multiplayer games anymore that cost money. We can just go release some free shovelware garbage and then shove a bunch of monetization into it. And then like the players will just give us tons of money, right? And like Fortnite just kicked off that whole thing. Prior to Fortnite, like, the worst thing we had, like I said, was Overwatch and Counter Strike. And Counter Strike is really completely different. Like
I will
Counter
say
Strike
like
is bad for a whole host of different reasons, and it's really
yes.
not that bad. Live service was a thing, and it wasn't that bad. But like Fortnite and Battle Pass specifically, like really really fucked the industry just really hard, right? Because like the worst you had was like Overwatch, and like Overwatch, like everyone complained about it, like oh the loot boxes are predatory, and like it was
Mm.
kind of bad, but it wasn't that bad. And like other games are doing it, but like it wasn't like that bad. Like you didn't see like game companies scrambling to figure out how to make a free to play like high player retention, high monetization game. Like you didn't really see that. But when Fortnite Battle Royale happened and it was like so ridiculously popular, and it had such ridiculously high player retention and it made so much money, like it was so goddamn profitable that
Mm.
every game company, being that we live in a capitalist society where you as a corporation, your sole interest, like your sole thing that you care about as a corporation, is to increase shareholder value. You naturally go, how do we do what Fortnite did? How can we make our own Fortnite, right? And so that's what all these game companies are trying to do now. You have people at the game studios that are, they have this, hey, I have this really cool idea for this, single player game with this rich, in-depth story with cool RPG mechanics, here's my pitch for it, and they go, no, we just that's too risky. What if we make the game and no one buys it? What if we make the game and it only makes $10 million? We want to make $200 million.
Mm.
Because we have a limited number of developers, right? Developers are a finite resource, and we have to allocate them towards a project. So we don't want to start on projects that are going to be less profitable than other projects. We're going to only do projects that are going to make us tons of money. And so then you end up with like their developer resources being allocated making games like Call of Duty forever. So you're just going to get nonstop, the same game every year. They're just going to release the same game, but the story like has a different coat of paint on it every time, and they're just going to keep doing that every year over and over again because it makes they know how much money it's going to make every time, and it's guaranteed money. It's very low risk, right? That's a low risk thing. They're going to spend money to make a game, and they're going to release it, and they know how much it's going to make, and it's going to add new content to the multiplayer stuff, and that's what everyone really wants. And it adds new stuff to multiplayer. Like that's all they really care about. So it's low risk, but that's where the industry's at right now. Gacha games aren't even that bad. Like they're kind of not great. The monetization in a lot of gacha games is really terrible.
Mm.
But like the thing about it is that like people generally like whenever they spend money on a game, they want instant gratification. Gacha games don't really do that. You pay money and you do some rolls and you get dog shit. You get nothing. You get nothing. You get trolled. The game didn't give you anything.
And it's like
Right?
$20. That's kind of
I don't know
insane.
about that.
Some games are
you
like
get a lot.
that.
That's
Some games are.
there's no way.
I used to play a lot of Dokkan Battle back in the day. It was like I think like $15 for like a single pull for like a single multi.
There's no way. A multi. Okay, that's the difference. That's a 10 pull.
Hmm.
That's
No,
10
I mean
pulls,
like
brother.
for a full pull.
There's no way. Come on now.
Like not for one pull, like a full pull, like
You mean a
Hmm.
10
a
pull?
full, yeah, like a 10
Yeah,
pull.
for like a 10
Okay,
pull.
so a
For
10
10
pull, right? That's the different,
Yeah,
right?
it's like
That's
$20
usually
for a
what you're
10
gonna,
pull.
yeah, you're gonna spend anywhere between 10 and $20 for a 10 pull on like most gacha games, and like people don't like that. People don't really like doing that, so they're just not that popular. Gacha games, they have a specific niche of people that like playing gacha games, and typically the
Thick
people that play them,
anime
they play the
women,
game.
essentially.
Well, I mean, that's a big
Hmm.
part of it for a lot of people, but some of the games are like legitimately fun. Like I think Zenless is actually a fun game. I think if it wasn't a gacha game, it'd actually be pretty cool. But unfortunately, it is a gacha game, and you have to deal with really annoying
Never played it.
monetization. Thankfully, MiHoYo is actually not that bad. Like surprisingly, like their gacha like monetization is not that awful. Like if you look at other gacha games that come out, like there's like the monetization is so terrible. Like the new Madoka Magica gacha game that just came out, it has like some of the shittiest monetization like ever. I don't know if it's worse than Fate. I don't know anything about the Fate one. Like I
Not me
don't
playing Fate
I've
right
heard
now.
I
Oh
don't
my
care about Fate
gosh.
at all. I have no idea how the rates are in there, but like the rates aren't that good. It's really expensive. They drop new banners like every week or two and then like retire the banners. So like the banners aren't even active for that long. The rates are really garbage. It's
Mm.
so bad. It's not even like you can't even like play the game for free and like do the rolls that way because the rewards from like the regular story payouts are so low. Like you
God
have to
damn,
play
son.
the game so much just to get like a 10 pull. So
Jesus, dude.
MiHoYo is like not that bad. Like, some people like to shit on MiHoYo, but like they're actually not that bad. Like their monetization, like yeah, it's a gacha game. But like at least in like I don't know about like Genshin, I don't play Genshin, but in Zenless, like you can actually play the game and not spend any money on it, and it's like fine, I guess.
Zenless is
Mm.
so bae. Zenless is bae. I love Zenless so much.
It's a cool game.
You
The
play the heck
animations
out
are
of
really
it. You
cool.
can't even. You
I
can't
don't
even.
play that much. Not anymore.
Excuse me.
I played the shit out of it for like 2 weeks, and then I didn't play that much anymore. Like I haven't
Excuse
opened
me.
the game in like a month.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's true. It's true.
Mm.
I do have a lot of 5 stars though, but that was when I played for like 2 weeks.
But I
Turn me
feel
down,
like
man.
this is what I feel like this is the time where I feel like what's going to end up happening is either the gaming industry is going to keep going and the indie games are going to take over because like
I mean, we're
indie
seeing it
games
now.
recently, indie gaming has been cooking.
I mean, look at Expedition 33. That's an indie game.
That and fucking whatchamacallit, I'm forgetting the game right now. Baldur's Gate 3 is an indie game, which is insane. Indie gaming as a whole has been like doing
I don't know if
phenomenal.
Larian technically counts as an indie studio or not, but like kind of, yeah. They've been around
kind
for a
of
while.
like there's. I feel like when you're not like yeah, because they are a really small dev team.
Yeah, it's a relatively small team, kind of, sort of.
Mhm.
They have 470 employees.
Mm.
But like, they're not like a gigantic mega studio, but also, it's not like it's a, small team of 30 people or anything. Like they're a decently sized company. They got especially big after BG3, but they've been around since 1996.
Mm.
Like Larian's been around for a
Mm.
while. You know, they're kind of industry veterans at this point. They're not a huge studio. Like they're not like Activision or anything. You know, like like they're kind of like, I would say they're like on the border of being an indie studio or not. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
Expedition 33, 100% an indie game. Like it's the studio's first game. You know, they have a lot of industry veterans working there because a lot of the people at Sandfall, the people that made Expedition 33, a lot of the people there are ex Ubisoft devs. Specifically, I think it was 2020-ish when they started Sandfall. So it was a bunch of ex Ubisoft devs plus just other people that they hired on. So it's a lot of ex Ubisoft people at Sandfall that made it, but like brand new studio, first game that they made. They make Expedition 33. There's a bunch of really funny things that happen with that too. So the composer on Expedition 33, like completely unknown, has never composed a video game soundtrack before.
Damn.
Straight up, what happened is he posted his SoundCloud link on an obscure game dev forum that he'd never been on before. And one of the developers at Sandfall saw it, listened to it, thought it was pretty good, and emailed the guy. And so they started working together. This is like, you know, this composer literally has never composed for a video game before. He just straight up made cool music on SoundCloud and posted it on a game dev forum saying, you know, like he's always wanted to make video game music. And, you know, someone at Sandfall was like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And, you know, they reached out and like this guy was like a million times better than like what they were ever hoping for. And his style worked really, really well with the game that they were trying to make. And there was something else. I think like the writer also a similar circumstance that happened.
Welcome in, Mufi. We are discussing monetization between Fortnite and how everything has been affected between the battle passes and, you know, how gacha games are. And we will be discussing further our favorite video games and information about different types of video games. If you would like to tell us your favorite video games, that would be great.
My favorite video game is either from the Halo series. I love Halo 2 and Halo Reach.
Which are both phenomenal and solid games. Those are really good picks.
Or if you could think about it like this,
so if you lost your memory and you want to play video games, what is the first game that comes to your mind? What are the first couple games that come to your mind?
Halo 2, Halo Reach, and Armed and Dangerous from the original Xbox.
Damn, some good picks.
Are we just going in order?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So for me, for sure, Grand Theft Auto, second, and I don't know if you guys ever heard of this game called Time Splitter. That's like.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. I know how really good it is. Never played it though.
Yeah.
What did you say? What was the game you mentioned?
Time Splitters.
Time Splitters?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. The mic was a little muffled.
Pretty sure that's an older game too. Wasn't that 360?
Yeah, it was like PS2, 360, and GameCube. It's like a really old game.
I mean, shoot, you can't. I mean, like old games are good for a reason. Shit, there's a reason people still talk about like older games to this day.
I remember when I played Armed and Dangerous when I was a young child. That game, it was crazy for its time. The story wise, the animations, the gun gameplay was just out of its time.
I feel like that reminds me of like Metal Gear Solid and how like that game in general was just ahead of its time. Like that game like took the PS1 and made it as hard as it could, and that game was like always it'll always be remembered in my head for like one of the best games of all time.
Yeah, for sure, Metal Gear definitely up there.
I wasn't saying like the gameplay was top notch, but it's just the fact is just how unique during the time when it came out. It was just so much fun. I loved playing the shark gun. You basically shoot a little shark that just chases people. That was
Metal
fun.
Slug?
No, it was called Armed and Dangerous.
Oh, I remember that game.
It's giving me like Borderlands vibes. Like I don't know too much about it, but like hearing like a shark gun where like guns behave weirdly or differently just gives me like Borderlands vibes.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever play Serious Sam?
Like
I
one
never
of
did.
the
I've also heard
games.
about that one too.
Yeah, that's a really good game, or at least back then it was.
My whatchamacallit, if I had like a Mount Everest of gaming, like games that like are like forever, they will forever, no matter what, be like regardless, like one of like grandfathers of gaming. GTA's got to be on there.
Which
Like
one?
GTA,
Which
like
one? Because
even
that's a heavily opinionated piece right there.
I can't say. I want to say like the GTA, the first 3D GTA. I want to say like what was it? What's it called?
Are you thinking about San Andreas?
Vice City.
I want to say San Andreas.
San Andreas is like the iconic one that everyone always loves to like post
Is
about
that the
online.
CJ one?
Yeah, no, that's San Andreas because
Yep.
San Andreas it's always San Andreas or Vice City that people really talk about from back in the day.
I think Vice City is a lot less common. People really love San Andreas though, or at least it gets talked about more often. And at least it gets talked about on Twitter more often. That's mostly what I use, so that's where I see it.
I
gotta
think
put Metal Gear. I also gotta put Metal Gear on there for stealth games because like Metal Gear, Kojima, it's like wacky but fucking amazing.
good old
And
Kojima.
Hideo Kojima. Don't know how the fuck he got away with half that shit in games, but still he got away with it. And I want to see maybe like one of the original Call of Duties. Love it or hate it, who doesn't like Call of Duty? Who doesn't like to go like just play like just a Call of Duty just casually?
I mean, it's one of the most iconic shoot bang games of all time.
But during that time, PS2, Medal of Honor was also really good competing before they kind of like stopped developing games.
Yeah. The thing like that was EA whenever the EA owned Medal of Honor, and then they were basically competing for a while until Modern Warfare came out, and it basically just like at the time people were tired of the World War II shooter or World War One shooter. Then Modern Warfare came out, and it just from there it just kind of became Call of Duty, Activision's golden child.
The good old Call of Duty minds.
We make 77 of these games a year, and none of your cosmetics transfer between games, even though the code is the exact same.
They're actually trying to make the cosmetics transfer over,
which is nice.
The cosmetics that don't currently transfer over, there's generally good reasons why.
Licensing.
I think it's less of a licensing thing. There's honestly a lot of tech problems that like get in the way, but there could be licensing issues if it's licensed content specifically.
From what I know with friends that I have within that business, part of it is licensing, and there is a lot of trouble between devs and QA testers, but that's a whole different topic for a whole nother day.
With Call of, I don't know about what like your friends or whoever are, but in Call of Duty specifically, it's not really a QA thing. There can be licensing issues, right? If it's licensed content, it's typically the licenses are going to be, this content is licensed for this game, and if you want to put it in another game, you'd have to, relicense it, and they may not want to do that. But there are tech issues. I forget exactly what it is, but like the tech can change a little bit between games, and like it can be troublesome to port the content over, and so
very much
it takes a while.
It
just depends.
Yeah, it's all I know is it's a hot mess, and it's a hot mess, and I know QA testers hate devs, and devs hate the QA testers, and there's always all kinds of other things, and there's what you said as well.
The Call of Duty devs don't really hate the QA testers. I know someone that works at High Moon Studios, and they all love the QA testers. Like they love the QA guys. Like they do a lot of work, like a significant amount of work, and they all love the QA people, right? Like speaking as a developer myself, I don't work on games, but I work on software. And like speaking as a developer, like I can say like I love QA people. It's like I don't want to test my software. You are a rare breed testing my software. No. Okay. This is very common. Like from developers that I know, I don't know what developers you know, right? So this could be just like I know different people than you know. right? So I don't know which viewpoint is more common. I can't say, but I can say like I know a guy who works at High Moon. They work on Call of Duty. I, as a developer, I work at a company where there's other developers, and we all love our QA people because we don't like testing our code, right? It's not fun. We hate testing our own code. So
Honestly,
to
as
think that I just write code and someone goes in and tests my shit and makes sure it's not broken, and then they tell me how it's broken and just, hey, this is where it's broken, just fix that. It's like, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Mm.
honestly,
Yeah, go
as a
ahead.
game dev myself too, I have a couple games that I've made, and honestly,
I
it
didn't know you were a
genuinely
game dev.
does. Yes, honestly,
That's
it
fucking awesome.
If this is the case, it's probably more down to like office politics and whatever dev companies are in charge.
true.
From what I know, and what I've experienced personally with other QA testers, there was a lot of infighting with that. But that is again a story for a different time
Mm-hmm.
because it is a lot, and I know some stories of shit that just goes on.
Another
Mm.
time, another time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am back. I don't know quite where we left off. I went to go get ice cream, and unfortunately, I did not bring any to share.
Kind
Sorry.
of crazy, man. It's devious. Not gonna share the ice cream. Evil activities.
Mark, have we discussed your favorite video games or no?
No, we have not.
Okay, so
All
what would be
right.
your top three video games? Or go ahead, King.
If you lost your memory or had amnesia, and you wanted to like replay all the games you ever played, what would be the first game you'd like to play? What's the first game that comes to your mind?
First game is Devil May Cry. There's no fucking question
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Mm-hmm. That's completely valid. Yeah.
I do have a handful of games. I've narrowed the fucking list down. So I already mentioned Devil May Cry, Hi-Fi Rush, because that is also really good. The Resident Evil series,
Also valid.
Very
Castlevania, and then
valid.
and then
Very
finally
valid.
and then the last one that has like a tie is between Dead Space and Gears of War.
Completely valid list. I can't even hate. I really can't.
But off rip, Devil May Cry and Hi-Fi Rush because one, great music, and I love me a good character action game. It feels good to be stylish. You see all kinds of things. It also speaks to the inner weeb in me in a lot of ways, just seeing how goofy Dante is. The reason why I love Dante so much in the Devil May Cry series is because we all know he's a huge fucking dork that's just trying to be cool. And he thinks he's being cool.
Very
But
solid.
in reality, he's just a fucking dork.
It's very true.
Very true.
He's a huge dork that just loves his pizza.
Honestly,
He's the
I feel
wacky
like
woohoo pizza man for a reason. That's my boy Dante. Ah,
I
sorry.
feel like between like Dante and then Bayonetta are like complete opposite on the spectrum, in a
You
way.
gotta love Bayonetta though.
Yeah, I love Bayonetta so much. Honestly, my favorite video game would have to be the Final Fantasy series. I genuinely love Final Fantasy 13. I grew up on Final Fantasy. Like I was literally like as a baby being held or cradled like in my dad's hands while he played Final Fantasy. And I just always grew up with playing Final Fantasy, and I always loved running through the games. 13 just stuck with me the most though, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Video
We
games
got a
have been
turn.
like a major part of me growing up and just my life in general.
Which one was
We
13
got
again? I've lost track of all the Final Fantasy.
13 is with
the only
lightning.
Final Fantasy I remember is
It's like the
15. Dog. I'm
summoning
not gonna
one.
lie.
Like with it's like crystals, or they turn into crystals, and
Is
like
it the
they
one
have
they
the
do
marking on
the
their
ha
hands.
ha 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 ha? That one?
Uh, what?
It's like a laughing scene. Like the laughing is really really poorly dubbed and really bad.
I don't
Which is would be like
remember.
one of the characters goes like ha 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 ha. It
Oh,
was something like that.
I don't remember, honestly. It's been a while since I played it. I went
Yeah.
through the first. So, Final Fantasy 13 was actually 2 CDs, and I went through the first CD in about 6 hours.
Goddamn.
Yeah, like I Like I said before, I have the ability to run through video games like nothing, and it's pretty cool. I don't speed run intentionally. It's just if I'm into it, I'm gonna keep playing. I'm gonna keep playing until I finish it. Until I hit a hard block that I can't beat, I'm gonna keep going. My next one would have to be Bayonetta for sure. For sure, Bayonetta series. Out of the three, I think I like 2. I haven't finished 3 though. On 3, I was going for straight platinums, and then
Okay.
on one of my on like literally one of the last platinums that I had to do, I was at work and I was fighting. I was playing at work, and then my Switch was about to die and I didn't have a charger, and then it just died and I lost and I was playing for about 3 matches, so I had 3 full platinums completed.
Damn.
And then I died. And
Damn.
the Switch died and I was mad. I was so mad. And apparently I had gone on my lunch for about an hour and a half and I didn't know. And then I was sitting next to my boss while I was playing, and then an hour and a half had passed by and I was like, "Hey, boss man, like I didn't know I was playing for an hour and a half. I lost track of time." And he was like, "It's okay. Just go back to work." Yeah.
He saw you, just like, you fully locked in, dog. Let her get a platinum. Have you played DMC 5 as well?
I haven't played DMC. I want to so bad.
Do it, dude.
As soon as I'm finished with
Except for 2.
Bayonetta, I'm gonna go over to DMC. My last video game that I would say would be like my top 3 would be Luigi's Haunted Mansion. Same thing. I love running through Luigi's Haunted Mansion so much. It took me, I want to say, like, the rough time between me finishing these games is around like 6 to 8 hours. So Luigi's Haunted Mansion, I know for sure. No, 8 hours and 36 minutes on the game timer to complete the whole thing. Like, I don't know, it's just something in me. I cannot sleep until I finish this game.
You said I'm not leaving until it's over.
Yeah.
No, but the whatchamacallit, play DMC 5. The game's a masterpiece. It's fucking gas. You two quitting. You black.
I got you. I got you.
On some hoe shit. I know your ass be like, I'm not playing Devil May Cry. I'm not playing no action game. You don't play the action game.
I love action games. I do. Look. If you want to be a little bit proud of me,
Okay,
I've watched completely the DMC anime, and I'll be honest, it was okay. I'm be honest, it was okay.
To be fair, the anime and the games are very different.
That is true. I know.
Like night and day.
Mm-hmm.
I like the story of the anime because it's just different from the game, so I'm just not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But like the DMC mega fans was pissed.
Oh yeah, I heard all of the comments about that.
Like, it's not 1-to-1 with the games. I'm like, why do you care? If you expect it to be 1-to-1 with the game, you're gonna be disappointed no matter what. Because someone's gonna get lost in adaptation. Like, look, there's certain things that, like, just shouldn't be adapted, or like it shouldn't be adapted 1-to-1. It didn't say it was like a 1-to-1 copy of the game. It said it was an adaptation of the games.
Mm-hmm.
So like, the mega fans was pissed. And I'm just like, dog, I don't see it. It's good. It's gonna get people to get into the game so you can talk about DMC more. So why you hate? Play the games. The games are awesome. Play DMC 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Play them in order, but skip 2. 2's the bad game.
Why is 2 the bad game necessarily?
Due to basically the guy who made DMC the franchise, Hideaki Itsuno, he wasn't able to work on DMC 2 from the beginning, and basically he got credit for the game because he hopped on it last second, right whenever the game was about to be shipped, and he just said, "I can't fix this, just ship it, and we'll make DMC 3." It was like DMC 1, people were saying the difficulty was too hard and the guns did no damage, and in DMC 2 they made the guns do too much damage and the difficulty was too easy, so they made DMC 3. And DMC 3 is amazing, and 4 is pretty good, and then 5 is fucking amazing. It's the best game in the series.
So what game should I start off with if I play? 3 or
DMC 1?
1?
So DMC 1 so in the DMC order of the timeline, it'd be 3, 1, 2, 4, 5.
Wait, really? 3 is a prequel to 1?
Yeah, 3 is a prequel. Because like Dante in that game's like 19.
Wait, is 3 with Nero or is that 4?
That's 4.
Oh, okay. That's the one. Yeah, okay. That's the one I played. The last one I played.
But just play the games in order. You'll be fine. Just skip to. You can probably get the entire collection of the games. Like there's a whole DMC collection for like when I bought it, my console a while ago. I think it was on like a site sale. It was like $10-15 for 4 games. You get a good deal on it. It wouldn't be too pricey.
I mean, they're both from the same creator,
Mm-hmm.
which is even crazier.
He
But
didn't hit it out of the park once. He hit it out of the park twice.
But yeah, no. One that I really want to talk about is the Gears of War series. Because the reason why the Gears of War series is like something very near and dear to my heart was because that was one of the first games I've had my first lock-in / LAN party back when those were still like really big with people, like just doing LAN parties and playing games and shit in your own local area network.
Mhm.
And I just followed that series, and then I started playing it with my little brother a lot. I do prefer third person over first person based shooting games, especially if it's a good cover shooter. I love that. Woo. And then to round it off, a game I really want to talk about is the Resident Evil series. Because my God, does that series just take some wild twists and turns? We started off with some bullshit on a mansion, all the way to, wow, we have the C virus in China. I'm sorry, what?
No, so I was doing like a deep dive where I was looking at the Resident Evil timeline and some of the lore and
Mhm.
hearing the jumps in between the games, like, oh yeah, we have a T virus in a mansion to the T virus got out of the mansion is now affecting Raccoon City to because the virus got so bad we nuked the city and we gotta leave the city, which is Resident Evil like 2, 3 and some other games, to like Resident Evil 7, which is oh yeah, we have another virus which is like not really a virus, a bioweapon. What we called her Evelyn, who helps control these moldy people. To Evelyn's actually kind of like the not she's not the origin of the virus because the origin of the virus is this village, which it's so much. It's so interesting seeing how wacky the timeline gets.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, I love the character designs and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And what's even crazier is what also leads into my love for Resident Evil and Devil May Cry even more is that Dante was just basically another design for Leon because
Mm.
the first Devil May Cry was originally supposed to be Resident Evil 4, which is
Oh,
even
really?
crazier. And I always thought that was like common knowledge, but no, not a lot of people actually knew that because of the character design. If you actually pay attention, there's certain little in the Resident Evil series. There's certain nods. There are certain things that like later on things that Leon does. It, and you think about Dante, it's like hold the fuck up, bob cut, running around with a pistol, doing kicks and all types of cool shit. Dante, is that you?
Out here suplexing fucking creatures. It's cool as fuck. The
dropping
Looks
the
dropping
random
some one-liners.
the random one liners. Where's everybody going? Bingo?
Exactly that. Exactly shit like that. I love all of that. Survival horror has a weird place in my heart with these things too because growing up I was fucking scaredy cat. I could not be in the same room for a lot of scary shit. Being me, like still a little kid watching my uncle play Resident Evil 2 fighting William, the the like original Resident Evil 2. Bro, I was scared. Scared. But I couldn't look away. But yeah, no, those are my picks. Real quick thing about Hi-Fi Rush that I find interesting. It is a character action rhythm based game. I highly recommend anybody who hasn't played Hi-Fi Rush to just play it. Enjoy it. Be it in streamer mode or not. Mwah! Really good. Some people just jokingly call it Guitar Nero.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, it's really good. Those are my games.
No, the whole list is pretty valid, at least in my opinion.
I think so far we've heard a lot of good games. I know we're working on Street Fighter right now, and I think that is it. We cooked on that one for sure. The intro looks beautiful. It has a retro-esque, and I'm so excited for it to go live.
Be glad we didn't play Third Strike.
Yeah.
Be glad we didn't play Third Strike. That would have been no mercy.
I would have got my ass whooped. It would have been handed to me on a silver platter, literally. Cheek cut off and everything. Seriously.
This is why I love like gaming as a whole, because I feel like it brings people from all these different backgrounds, and all these different histories, different families, whether good and bad. And it just makes all of us enjoy shit. It's just nice to see it. Like everybody like loves gaming in their own unique ways, whether it's for the sound design aspect or for the lore aspect, or whether for just people being nerdy or goofy in the game, which is really cool.
I really love how everyone can be brought together with just a single game. I think it's really cool. Let's not talk about Mario Kart. No, let's not talk about Mario Kart.
No. Mario Kart's valid. Mario Party, on the other hand, is a different thing.
True. Mario Party, Mario Kart.
Respectfully, I'm not sure how you're playing Mario Kart. Whenever I play Mario Kart, it makes me want to punch the guy next to me.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like when I said how everybody gets brought together except for Mario Kart, Mario Party.
Dude, Mario Kart's a fun game though. Why are you gonna get mad?
No, but like here's the issue, dog. When you have like that one friend in first place who gets the luckiest rolls in the world, who gets every single star on the map casually, and they're fucking new to the game, and just go, I want to break your fucking face.
Bro, I'm new. I don't know.
Dog.
It's a fun game. It's not a competitive game. Like it's
sometimes it's like it's harder
generator.
It is competitive.
It's literally a random number generator, not competitive.
It is competitive. It is competitive. I swear.
If you're thinking about it competitive, that's why you're getting mad at the game. You should not play Mario Kart. It's a competitive. It's random number generator, whether you win or lose. Like it's straight up.
That's the thing, though, dog. Like
Mason, I'm about to turn your 1 into a 0.
When them numbers be against you that one day, you just be damn. I want to crash out today.
Like it's better than landing on a Bowser space. Let's be real here.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, I never played Mario Party, so I don't know.
Don't. You're doing yourself a service. So.
Me and my brother used to play. We weren't that intense in it, but then whenever I would have my cousins or like friends over and we'd all play, I mean, it was pretty solid. We never got so intense to where we wanted to just throw everything at like the screen, but it was more of fun, if anything.
Yeah,
Mario Kart, on the other hand, for me is one of those things where I'm just like,
I do have a genuine question. Since you've never played Mario Party, have you at least played Monopoly?
Well, I mean, who hasn't played Monopoly?
You know how Monopoly never ends in a calm manner?
It's always ended in a calm manner for me because we get too bored to keep playing the game and they just stop because it's fucking boring.
Lucky you! I've had family disputes where they literally have flipped a table. Somebody has flipped a table.
As much as I would love to be a part of a game where the table gets flipped, I talk about it all the time. I'm just like, flips table. You know, to visually see that though would be
just flip the table in real life.
Oh my god.
That's
do it.
So
flip the table.
Like I said, when it comes to games like actually get like my entire family pissed or just get the games that get me and whoever I'm playing pissed is Uno, which we discussed a couple podcasts ago, and For Honor. I can be playing with my greatest friend I've ever met. Like one of my best friends ever, right? We play For Honor. That game gets so toxic and so awful. I get so mad so quick. It's ridiculous. Dog, I don't play. No, I'm retired.
Oh, okay,
I don't get mad at I don't get mad at games in general, except for Honor.
He took a shower. It's okay, guys. It's fine.
I retired years ago. I don't get mad at games except for Honor. For Honor's that one game where I'm just like, dog, I can't even learn the combo. I got killed by netcode.
You know what? That's valid.
Oh yeah, dude, blame the netcode. Dude, it was the netcode. I'm not
I
bad at the
didn't-
No, no, no.
game. It's the netcode.
When I get hit with the 15th unblockable in a row in my fucking and I'm parrying that shit because no how to parry the unblockable and it doesn't go through because I got fucking sold, I'm gonna be pissed.
At least none of y'all have said Melee is your favorite game. If you sit here and tell me Smash Bros. Melee is still your favorite out of all of them, I'm questioning your taste.
I enjoy casual Smash Brothers. I'm not really competitive into it.
Thank you.
Wait, what's wrong with Melee?
It's not more of
busted.
what's wrong with Melee. What's wrong with most of the community in Melee?
Isn't Melee just not competitively balanced and is a general pile of shit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's super unbalanced, but
Yeah,
I
so
think
that's
that's
what's
why.
wrong with Melee. It's not competitively
But I think
balanced.
that's why the community is so big because everyone literally like can like just go fucking crazy with any character.
Yeah,
Which
you
of
gotta
course,
stay
from a
on the
competitive
project end though.
standpoint, yeah, from a competitive standpoint, it's not necessarily sound.
I mean, from a non-competitive standpoint, I would argue that my favorite version of Smash Bros is still kind of Brawl. I know, I know, bad taste, bad pick, but I just love Brawl.
Isn't Brawl the Smash Brothers on the Wii with the triple
Yep,
mechanic?
Yeah.
yep.
That's a take. That's an
But
opinion.
here's the thing, though. There's a difference between the entire game being unbalanced and one character being unbalanced. And
Mm.
that game alone, Meta Knight, had to be banned from all tournaments. It get literally zero
Nobody
to
likes Meta Knight. Let's be real.
10.
I
Like you could
mean,
You play
play
Meta Knight.
honestly,
tournaments. It was just that bad. Like it'd be different if half the cast was broken, right? But you got one character on the highest scale compared to everyone else, and just like tyrannies the game.
I forgot how busted Man I was, dude. But you want to talk about broken characters in video games? Let's talk about Leroy in Tekken 7 when he first came
Okay,
out.
no one ever surpassed that level of brokenness. Like
He
top
had
8 people with 7 Leroy.
no, dude. So you can hate me for this. I was playing Noctis in Tekken 7. I just like Noctis as a character. It was super cool, right? I was playing against my homeboy who made Leroy. Looks
Sorry.
cool as fuck. I don't blame him. That motherfucker spammed the counter. And this is a younger novice to fighting games me, right? So I couldn't tell the active window for counters. And he does so much fucking damage. And Leroy's one-time use cane puts you negative 14 on block. But if you
Yeah,
take the hit, it's a full combo. So basically resets the pressure. It was so bad. It was so bad. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking at the Tekken studio to be like, Leroy, cool ass character, make him busted. Make him have the best moves in the game. Make all of these jabs like negative 1 frame on block.
and they literally just had something with Second 8. They had a whole season patch within like a week or so because season 2 was that bad. Like
Yeah, I
everybody
saw that.
the broken shit. And then Jack was killing the game. Like tournament player, the biggest tournament player for the game, the best person, literally stopped playing because we can't play like this. We can't. You have to guess on everything.
Dude, I saw that and I was just like, damn, dog, what the fuck are they doing? They could just they brought back Fakudom, dog. He was like one of the second to last DLC characters in Tekken 7. I'm like, you couldn't bring anybody else?
I'm just a
Yeah,
filthy
like
Miguel player.
got their #1 tournament player winning all the tournaments, complaining about the game when he's still running all the tournaments. That's actually a problem. Like he's sponsored to literally live off the game, and he's complaining that he doesn't want to play anymore because of how frustrating the game was.
I'm just a filthy Miguel player.
As long as you weren't like a Leroy player in that era of Tekken who defended Leroy until he's not broken at all, you're fine.
I mean, as long as nobody here is that one Kazuya player that gets mad after the first low gets blocked and quits.
Ooh.
There are people that do that. Like I've seen videos where Kazuya will go for the hell sweep, person blocks it, dude just leaves. Doesn't even do the whole match.
Mishima execution. I can't do it. I respect people who play Mishimas, but at the same time, damn. People gonna hate me, but like I actually liked playing Jin in Tekken 8. I didn't play Jin in any of the previous Tekkens except 8.
I've only really liked playing Jen back in Tekken 5 because I actually knew like a full length combo with his double leg lift, and then that shit got nerfed to hell.
Yeah, this is the 1 second I actually skipped. I've been an avid second player since one.
You skipped 8?
I skipped every aspect of 8,
Eight's
and
in its worst state right now.
I know that's why I didn't play it. Like, and the thing is, it wasn't bad during season 1. It's just when they first introduced Heat, I thought it was cool, but then like there's so much aggression on Tekken 8. Like the thing is, I've kept up with every single Tekken, every launch, everything, and for the most part, I've like been extremely competitive with it. In fact, I was ranked online on the first Tekken that came out. I was ranked number 35.
Damn.
I came all the way from the bottom. Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's just bragging rights, right? Like, none of that shit matters if you're not going to tournament, making your bread, or making a name for yourself, because there's a huge community that goes online, and then there's a whole other community that's offline. And nobody really respects you unless you go offline to tournaments and, put your name there. But then it's like you got all these hard hitters like me, Arslan, half the Koreans. And it's like,
JDCR.
yeah, like you think you're so good, and then you run into one of those guys, you're going to see where you really stand and, stand out in the game. But it's just like with Tekken 8, there's so many elements to like learn. It was just like, I think I'm finally done with this game. The best Tekken I've ever been at was Tekken Tag 2, right? Like I put in so many hours in that game in 1 month than I've ever worked for like a total of 2 years.
Pardon the interjection. I have reservations on Tekken Tag based off of how its tag system works. But then
I
again,
want to play Tekken Tag so much. I never played it.
I'm just a filthy DOA player.
Oh, I miss DOA. That was a good game.
Okay, one of my favorite fighting games. The thing that like got me into the more of the fighting and community aspect of fighting games was Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah,
that game it's one super good and two horribly imbalanced. When G2 Goku came out, you can get the double spirit bomb combo. Yeah, I damn near quit the game.
Goku was pretty bad, and Broly was also.
Oh, sorry, Z or Super Broly.
I know it was one form of Broly. I didn't really play fighters, but I know there was a form of Broly that everybody was complaining about, that he was just like busted or something, and then Ultra Instinct Goku was also busted on the game.
I mean, but there was no way they could release Ultra Instinct Goku like balanced. That wasn't gonna happen. We knew it wasn't gonna happen. Dude, like I just remember like playing. I remember like so it was weird as I couldn't learn GT Goku's like combo structure because he had like a non-traditional one. Because he used to like the Saiyan combo structure, and it was hell on earth fighting every single GT Goku player. It was so bad. It was so bad. He like had like phenomenal normals, great damage, great resets, great key gain. He had fucking insane shit. And then like you'd play for like 20 minutes of online and see like entire teams with like just the same meta comp, and it was ridiculous. Meanwhile, me with my Super Saiyan Goku, my Trunks, which I'm happy they buffed him to where he's like now he's solid, and like a couple different characters of mine.
It was just fun playing Super Broly and just stomping people.
Super Broly is really, really cool. I fucking despise Z Broly though.
I will bathe in your blood.
If you main Z Broly, you can burn in hell.
Oh my gosh. I feel like my love for like fighting games didn't necessarily come from Dragon Ball Fighters. I would say more of either for sure Smash Brothers, and then playing with my brother, and then Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and I haven't really played Tekken all that much. No, I'm just saying in general, like when I would play with my brother, playing either Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or Smash Bros, I would always get my ass beat because I didn't know what I was doing. You know, even in Dragon Ball Fighters, I wouldn't know what I was doing, and he wouldn't let me, play. One day I just got fed up, bought the game, started learning, and I went from there. But it's just like, I don't know.
You gotta learn the old-fashioned way, man. Sometimes true.
Right. My ability to pick up on different video games is very excelled. Like I'll be able to move like and learn so many different games. And I'm not so much of a speedrunner, but if I get a game, I'll be able to run through it like crazy. Like Luigi's Haunted Mansion, I got it. Like I completed the whole thing and had like all like everything unlocked at that point, you know.
Mm.
But with fighting games, it's just I don't know, it throws me off. And Street Fighter 6 has definitely helped me open up to like my to fighting games more. And I just feel like I don't have like concept of combinations just engraved in like my I guess game analysis system that's in my brain. I don't know. It's
Mhm.
just like
I mean,
with
combo
any Mario
structures work.
game, it's just like I've
Mhm.
always run through it 8 hours most, or like 6 hours. When I first got it on the DS, like I through most of those games like crazy. But it's just fighting games they make me tweak so much.
When it comes to fighting games, they don't really follow the general rules because they're extremely technical, right? Like
Mhm.
the more, I guess, competitive you are in fighting games, the higher advantage you would usually have over like the typical gamer that did play fighting games. It's all based on frame data too. If you know frame data, there's a huge gap between you and the casual fighting gamer.
For sure,
That's
Like,
for
that,
sure.
that, that's why I always tell people like just know your neutral game. When you know neutral game, just about any fighting game will come easier. That's why I'm like, hey, don't focus on doing combos. Just focus on landing hits and learning how to block. Because
yeah,
9 times out of 10, when you learn how to do shit like that, you end up kicking so much more ass.
Like
There's a
in our
reason why people
last
say
match, oh my god.
defense wins championships. There's a reason why defense wins championships. If you can learn how to shut people down and let people not score, or learn like what was the quote? I remember seeing this somewhere in like the fighting game and the FGC's thing. It was like if you can play lame, people who like are super aggressive are almost gonna like how do I put it? Kind of like fly into your punches, which is Justin Wong's like signature thing is just playing lame. That's also like most Jigglypuff people, like Jigglypuff mains in like any Smash Brothers game, like play lame. They play like very like floaty, fly away from you, kind of like make you fly into their hits.
yeah, it's a very awkward style approach
It's
when you play.
different for like most fighting games, but I mean, shoot, it gets the job done. There's a reason why Justin Wong and Hungry Box is like one of like it's like a common name in Smash Brothers, in the Smash Brothers
Justin
community.
Wong played Smash. I did not know that.
So just is it just yeah? Sorry, he commented on it because like people were talking about how they want to like ban Jigglypuff or something like that.
'Cause I know who Hungry Box is. I didn't know Justin Wong played Smash. That's crazy.
So Justin Wong didn't play Smash, but he talked about playing lame and like how like playing lame's kind of like almost like a good thing in that sense.
Because yeah, I know Justin Wong. He's the guy for like Marvel's Capcom and Street Fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he used to be good
the
at
guy who
Tekken
got hit
6.
with that. Remember that Evo 30 Evo 1 with 37 with like the Justin Wong hoping that that Zygo could just not block or could
Oh,
not parry
dude,
one thing.
that's gonna be the
Yeah.
epitome gaming history play of like any tournament ever. Like where he was feeling super comfortable and Daigo was just perfect pairing everything and just turned the whole game around.
Dude,
Oh
like
my
it was
God.
Zygo at any point Zygo couldn't block. He couldn't block at all because chip damage would have got him. He had to parry everything. And he parried all of Chun-Li's ultimate just to hit him back with another ultimate. That was an insane ass shit. That was an insane pop off.
Yeah.
I still remember that clip. It's such a great clip.
I think it's the greatest gaming clip to me. And outside of that, the other clip that comes really good in like competitive gaming is the This Is Rocket League.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it changed. This Is Rocket League. That play was so crazy. I don't know if you ever saw that clip.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some pretty insane gaming clips out there. Like that one Battlefield 4 clip where somebody literally jumps out of the cockpit of a jet only to snipe somebody else flying behind them.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a
The
good
Run
one.
Zook, yeah. That's a really solid one too.
Or like that one guy who during the Yu-Gi-Oh match where he pulled what is that one deck called with all 5 of the pieces?
Exotic.
Exodia.
Exodia?
Yeah, Exodia. Yeah, and he just drew all 5 pieces all at once as soon as the match started.
Honestly, the only option to do there is eat their cards. Just eat their cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not fair. When you draw all 5 pieces of Exodia in the first hand is insane.
It's just like, oh, I drew all 5 pieces of Zodiac. No, you didn't. What do you mean? Chomp.
That was during a tournament match too, wasn't it? I believe it was. Yeah, for that to happen, crazy.
I guarantee you they changed the rule set that same day. Said you can maximum pull like only one or two, not all five.
Honestly, that's not fair though.
I miss watching the original Yu-Gi-Oh. Man, that was such a good show. Oh my god.
We gotta discuss like anime in general next time we do a part next time for next episode or something.
That is
Okay.
actually gonna be
Love it.
in season 2.
Mm.
So after this month, we will be taking a month for a break, and then we'll be going into season 2, where we'll have either repeat questions with new guests or dive into different subjects and kind of cast off of dating and going into something else. So yeah, that is an announcement that I have been waiting to make.
No,
How many
but the
seasons are gonna be?
100 seasons. Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty, 100 seasons.
100 seasons.
We're gonna have some
many
collaborations.
as many
some merch.
seasons as I have the patience for.
100 seasons until we're sponsored by HelloFresh. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by HelloFresh, you guys. So have you ever like just not wanted to cook at your house and not want to get ingredients?
What do you mean? I thought we were sponsored by GamerSupps. Oh wait, wrong show.
Sponsored, not sponsored.
Sponsored, not sponsored. HelloFresh actually sponsor us. I'm not trying to hate.
Honestly, I always looked at their subscription and I'm just like, that's kind of insane. You know, you're trying to save money, but in the end, you can just go to the grocery store.
You could probably get it for cheaper.
I did it for like 3 weeks and I regretted it. It was terrible.
It's just the meal
you could
prep
go to the store and get it for
concept.
cheaper.
Yeah, you can get it somewhere cheaper for sure. It's just the meal prep concept, which is kind of hard for some people to like, you know, get into the groove of meal prepping and stuff. I actually went to the grocery store, spent $3.50 for like, you know, just meal prepping stuff and just trying to get on that track because my schedule is insane, you know. But it was definitely necessary for me to, you know, actually get a handle on my schedule and with everything because I can't keep falling asleep in the Whataburger lines, guys. Yeah, the other day I went into a Whataburger line and didn't order, and then I got like a 3-hour like why did you do that from Masalmon here? So yeah,
I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
That was more so just about the general, like, you're working yourself to death thing. Like, that wasn't even about, like, the Whataburger. That's just,
no, I know.
Like, that's just evidence of the fact that you're, like, killing yourself.
Which is true. It is in fact true, unfortunately, and that's why I have chosen
I'm gonna stay up until 6 in the morning editing videos, and then I'm gonna go to work the next day.
You do what now?
No comment. No comment at all.
I'm gonna edit 3 videos in one night because I feel like it.
I can't say shit. I can't say shit about editing videos at late at night.
No comment.
That's pretty tough. I know what it's like to edit. That's no easy task.
The way I do it, I do one run. I watch it and I clip it and I add whatever I want, and then I'll have the second run when it goes live. And then I'll be like, damn, I missed that N-word. Oops.
You are better than me.
I do one take and that's it. And that's why sometimes it's
because I don't do just one watch through because I am watching the video over and over again. I'm going back over. I'm like, okay, what else can I add here? What else needs to be changed?
It's objectively better, though. It's objectively better to go over it multiple times than it is to go through once.
I agree. But with long videos that are 3 hours long, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I have to listen to y'all for 4 hours and then go turn around and listen to you guys for another 4 hours again, I'm like, okay, I'm doing one take of this.
You're not going to watch the whole thing all the way through. You watch it once, you identify the bits that you think are, you know, good, or at least, you know, maybe not necessarily, you know, these things are 100% going to be in the video, but like these are the things that are interesting. Remove everything else, right? And then you have a less footage to go through and you go, all right, so what's actually going to go in the video?
Yeah, that's usually what
also,
I do.
Don't subtitle your videos. You'll be there forever.
Well, you pay people to do that.
Oh no, that's me. I already do that. don't
He's the guy that
don't
people
pull at me.
pay.
Whenever I'm subtitling videos, like I also like to do add little bits or add little clips or just like use like I'll type out the whole word, but like with certain sentences, like I'll throw like an image here or an image there. Like say somebody's talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, now when somebody says TMNT, they'll see the quick flash of the cowbunga it is image there when the word TMNT comes up.
Well, that's not subtitling, that's editing.
That's on I said on top of my subtitles. Like some words will get replaced with that.
I think it's pretty cool how he edits his subtitles, and then also the way he streams on Twitch is pretty interesting too, because he actually has like a moving character, and the bits are funny. Not necessarily not a PNG. It's a PNG, but it it reacts. So
this guy's a
PNG
tuber.
PNG tuber.
I wouldn't say I'm 100% a PNG tuber, but that is something for me to advertise at a different time.
Yes.
But otherwise, I don't know. I would just say like pay a subtitling company to have good, high quality, accurate subtitles done. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can translate them, and you can have nice, high quality subtitles. But the translation's an extra mile.
Some of us are broke, bro. Some of us are.
Dude, it's not that expensive. It's actually not. Like English subtitles are not that expensive.
I mean, when I have to subtitle my stuff, it's actually not that bad. It's pretty easy for me. But I mean, I don't know. I like whenever I make the custom intros, it took me like not even 5 minutes to pull something together, right, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my ability to like actually edit and like scale everything is quite fast. It's pretty interesting if you watch me work, especially with the website. Like whenever I originally did the website, it took me 5 hours to complete the whole thing, to actually fully program and function it. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna switch software because I can do this better, and it actually looks really good. So
the creeper just blew up near my house.
yes, it did. I have a vendetta against creepers, TNT, all those things. Flint. Flint. Flint and steel. Flint and steel,
You can just disable explosion damage if it's really that big of a deal.
Oh no, it's a reference joke because of the black market.
You're talking about the thing that got blown up. You can just turn the thing off.
It wasn't my realm, okay? And we were all in survival, and yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this black market anymore. It makes me mad.
It gets Vietnam flashbacks anytime she
exactly. I just remember the pieces. It's just a hollow hole in my heart.
Vietnam flashbacks intensify.
You just be there and just be like black market. She just thinks of the whole house and how hard and how long it took to make it and how easy it was to break it all down.
Yeah. Actually, Frost, speaking of Frost, messaged me the other day. He was just like, hey, I have a house I want to show you in Minecraft. And I said, is it the black market? And he was like, no. And I said, then I don't want to see it. And then he was like, okay. It was a funny moment, honestly. And I'm like, I'm not going back unless I see the black market. Like, unless I have the intention of reliving my dream of making the black market go live, it's not happening. It's not. Or the Great Coliseum is another one.
Like my most creative, like my most intensive, like creative process in Minecraft is still by far the one time where I made my house was a tree.
Mm-hmm.
So my house was like a tree, and then we tried to make the Yggdrasil thing, which that took like weeks until we both got bored.
Yeah.
See, now whenever everybody brings up Yggdrasil, I'm currently watching Kamen Rider Gaim, and that's what my brain goes to.
The tree of life, which is over a lake. Don't question the logistics.
Do you feel like it's kind of hard to find a master builder nowadays?
In Minecraft?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, half the time whenever I do stuff in Minecraft, I just kind of like just fiddle and mess with it until it eventually works.
Yeah.
I'm fucking pissed that my fucking nether spawn is just in a soul sand biome with tons of skeletons. I just locked myself out of my house.
Nice.
I haven't played Minecraft in fucking forever.
I would say, oh, let's all, start a realm and, have fun, but I'm just like, I'm not going back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The day that I finally go back is the day that I intend to either see the black market or remake the black market. And honestly, I mean, I can't wait to get my capture card. I definitely want to start playing like Mario Kart and Bayonetta and all those Nintendo games. Fun fact, like getting all the pieces of equipment that I have been getting, I'm definitely writing those off on my taxes for sure.
As you should, I believe.
Yes, new monitor, taxes. External hard drive, taxes. New graphics card, taxes. Capture card, taxes.
Just don't pay your taxes. That's
Just
simple.
don't pay my taxes.
Damn, I didn't know we were promoting tax evasion.
What? Not tax evasion. How to properly itemize your tax deductions.
You gotta
The IRS.
I'm being a shit. It is a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a joke.
The IRS just immediately, oh no, it wasn't. I don't want y'all owe me $14. With interest, it's 40 fucking grand.
If you owe, you actually have to pay like by the due date of April something or other, and then if you don't pay, if you don't have to pay back, you have an extended period. Fun fact.
If you sounds a lot like someone who take avoids 3 years to pay it, and they won't do shit about it because the IRS doesn't really care.
That too.
That sounds a lot like someone who avoids paying their taxes.
I love losing money.
I love losing money.
I haven't ever owed yet, but like the IRS, like if you don't pay your taxes, like half the time, like nothing's gonna happen for like multiple years until eventually you get randomly audited and they realize you didn't pay your taxes.
Yeah, if there's anything I've learned from my experience with the government, they want their money.
Pretty much,
well, yeah. But, like the IRS, they're not very good at knowing immediately when you don't pay. It takes a while, and even if they were to notice like the following year, they're not gonna they're just gonna ask you to pay.
The communication between if you get like identity theft or just like any kind of communication between the IRS and you kind of sucks, not gonna lie.
They'll just send you a letter in the mail. It's like, hey, you owe, this much. Like,
yeah. But I've seen people who have like issues, and it's not even like their fault.
I'm lucky to say that I've still yet to owe. I've always paid too much somehow.
Well, most people, that's how it is. You don't typically end up owing money on your taxes unless you have really strange circumstances. I mean, I guess technically you could owe if you're doing investments, like any kind of investments, and you sell off some stuff, you would probably have to pay. Because I don't think your brokerage is going to deduct anything, so you would have to, file whatever form you have to file for investment like taxes, and then you'd have to pay. But like if you're not doing any kind of investments and you filled out your W-4 correctly, you shouldn't owe. Like you're not going to. Like if you fill out your W-4 wrong, like you can owe. Like if you put down you have 20 dependents and you have 0, like you're going to owe taxes. But if you have 0 dependents and you put down 0, like you shouldn't really owe anything.
And that's our
like
tax
how we're just talking about
from video games.
This is a video game show, ladies and germs.
Ladies and germs, yes.
All right. Speaking of video games, speaking of topics, who is the baddest in video games, in your personal opinion, for everybody in the chat right now?
If I went Nintendo, it's between Samus and Daisy.
No, I'm saying like your number one baddie in all of video games.
Oh, don't do that to me.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to.
Okay, straight up, Bayonetta. Come on, guys, please.
I'm going lady from Devil May Cry still.
The man might be cooking.
Okay, but Pyra though?
She might be cooking. Bayonetta, understandable still. We only got 3 answers. I need a few more here, big dogs.
Moofy, I know you have an opinion. Your opinion matters.
I cannot. Damn, I can't think of one straight to the head. Halo 2 Cortana.
My man.
That's a valid opinion right there. No one else. There's 2 more people in here.
I can remember the days when I would just stare at her. Just not playing the game. I'm just staring.
Drill like your eyes just drill a hole into the TV, just like
Pretty much.
Your mom pulls up around the corner. She goes, "Why are you staring at that digital woman?" I can explain.
I can explain.
Digital booty.
That digital jiggle.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
Melina, Mortal Kombat. Hear me out.
She's still conventionally attractive. That's not really a hear me out. That's just like a regular answer.
No, because I know there's some people out there. It's like, but doesn't she have the teeth though?
She do, but
Even
like
better. Even
you don't
better.
gotta.
Oh,
Somebody that doesn't
okay.
even really mess around with monster bleep. But hear me out, Melina.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let me add on a random topic here. Right, so I couldn't help but notice most of our answers, except for Cortana, were all alternative or gothic girls.
Honestly. Honestly? Okay. But we haven't gotten TV's response yet, so what would you say? Ultimate baddie.
I would say Quiet from Metal Gear.
My man. My man. Hold on. Let's go.
Man's a man of culture. Man's a man of culture.
Because I was trying to think of like a really good one. I'm like, that's the only one that's like really coming to my head is her. Like I would
Bro
fold.
said I like girls who try to kill me because she tried to kill you in the beginning of the game.
In the words of Spike Spiegel, I love a woman that could kick my ass.
Oh God.
Preach.
The fact that she has to have less clothing just so she can breathe.
That was a very much plot moment, but yeah. That was Kojima had to Kojima found a cute girl he wanted to scan in. Let's be real here. Kojima found somebody cute he wanted to scan in. Let's keep it above 50 here.
Or just the fact that that's a real person, and then she's on Rule 34.
Guaranteed, yeah. Look at Marvel Rivals. There's a reason why the Emma Plus memes are so fucking funny. I remember seeing there was an edit of a dude going, "She literally has nobody mind control. Dr. Umar, help!" Just tweets out. It has no business being that funny, but it is.
It is pretty funny.
But that didn't mean shit. I mean, how do you get people to play tank? If you make the tank fucking hot as hell, people are gonna play tank. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And they're gonna buy all the skins too.
Mm-hmm. Maybe J. Jonah Jameson was right about Spider-Man. Me after playing Rivals.
Get me more pictures. Yeah.
He's a fucking menace. Spider-Man's a menace. Yeah, he is.
Didn't he save you and your entire family from falling from a building last week? Yes. I played Rivals. I hate him. He's like Genji, but worse.
That fucking Genji.
Dude, no. Here's the thing, though, right? The minute they add in X-Men and the minute they add in
Nightcrawler.
Yep. The minute they add in Nightcrawler, y'all gonna say Spider-Man ain't that bad. Because he's gonna be a hit and run character. He's gonna have a really low HP pool, but he has to be able to teleport anywhere he wants to, and there's no way of stopping that.
Probably be like some kind of Moira ability. The way he probably teleports.
Do you think Nightcrawler's teleport smells like sulfur since he goes into hell?
Yes.
Since technically that's how his mutant ability works.
Also, respectfully, if you could have any mutant ability in X-Men, which mutant ability would you have?
See, old me would have said Darwin, but I also know how that ability is. I would either say Jubilee or Gambit, or
Okay, Gambit's pretty cool though. Quicksilver, I mean,
there was one more.
He's on and off for Quicksilver's ability because I don't want to perceive time that slow all the time.
Oh yeah. You're right.
If I'm perceiving time that slow every single second, every single day, I'd want to shoot myself.
But honestly, though, think about it. If you're wearing headphones, right? Do you hear music at the same frequency that you are, going really fast? It would be
It
the
would
same thing.
Dude, it would be the same thing. No, because imagine, okay, it's like here's the thing, right? I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan. Imagine listening to G and X for the first time, right? And you were actively, basically, just thinking of the triple entendre of the song before the lyric is done. It'd be bad. It'd be really bad. Your
Fair,
favorite
fair.
song would sound terrible.
You're right. You wouldn't even like. Imagine you're going for like a run around the world and you can't even listen to music while you do it.
Imagine being on a date with SZA and SZA's boring you because this conversation's gone on for 7 hours. We discussed video game topics and all that. That was cool. Let's see. We also discussed the game industry and how Fortnite may or may not have ruined it, which I do kind of agree with you. Like the whole live service model, due to Fortnite basically printing money, kind of makes every game company doing it. But it also opens the door
It's
to like,
true.
yeah,
Like
it
it
is.
just did do that.
Remember when Bungie was actually a good studio?
Oh
How
yeah.
long ago was that? A decade or more?
Yep. Before Destiny came out,
I'm
I
sorry, I
retired.
can't stop laughing. That'd
I
be
don't
dead,
blame
bro.
you.
I tried to
I
hold it.
don't blame you. Dude, I played Destiny 2 for the expansion before the final one. I retired. I'm happy I never came back.
So I was like, man, they really like. And the thing is, it's sad to see to go from the legacy of Halo to where it went to Destiny. It was they microtransaction the hell out of that game out. They pimped that game out so bad. And I was like,
It's
why is everybody still supporting this game? Destiny 2 is literally a big ass expansion pack. Like, why are people still buying this game?
Because it's a
Like,
people are
grind
still
fest.
going. People are still no. Here's the thing, though, right? There are grindy games that actually have good content, like Warframes. Destiny's just so fucking bad.
I
but it
mean,
was
you know,
like,
some
why?
people
I
like it.
never
You
really
know,
understood why everybody went and supported Destiny 2. There was literally no reason to support it.
So it was. So let me speak speak as a former Destiny player. It was addressing the lack of a cohesive campaign at the time, which the campaign wasn't even that great. That was pretty much about it. Then the first 2 years of Destiny were so bad, the game almost died. So Bungie was like, let's lock in and actually try and make the game. Then the game was good for about a year. Then from there, it just kind of stopped and just got worse and worse over time.
Because everybody kept buying all the DLC packs and expansion packs. Like, bro, you
Mm,
realize that they didn't spend not half the time that they were developing on the second game versus like them trying to go over from Halo and making this first new IP or whatever. I was like, you know what? At this point, this is a super huge cash grab. But people didn't realize until like they got bummed out and finally played every expansion pack that came out. Like, all right, well, what's the next microtransaction game that we're gonna get out to because this isn't gonna cut it anymore. Like, I was
mm,
done playing it out. Like after Halo 3, I was like, I'm not playing Halo 4. Destiny was okay when it first came out. And I was like, I'm not Destiny. There was literally no for me. There was just no incentive to get Destiny 2. Like it just wasn't.
mm. I
But
enjoyed the
every
PvP aspect of Destiny until it died. Because they
yeah.
just took PvP and moved it to Marathon. Then from there, I was like, I'm not gonna play Destiny. Like I played Destiny for a while, and then once like the expansion, which was the Witch Queen, which was really good. It was super good, but I was just super burnt out. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of done with Destiny. And then from there, never came back, and I'm happy I never did.
But at least they had a good run because
Mm.
that one game, it was supposed to be PvP and it was super hyped up by everybody. It was supposed to be compared to Destiny and had a really bad launch.
Anthem.
That's
Oh,
oh my
and
god.
yeah.
When we first saw the concept of what Anthem was supposed to be, and then when the game dropped, oh man, it was like a night and day difference. It was bad.
It
Like,
was so hyped because of how cool it looks and the flying was amazing, and then the game was just ass.
bro, it was like I was like, this is not the game that we were promised.
What happened? We needed a Destiny killer, and it turns out the Destiny killer was actually Destiny because the companies kept getting greedier and greedier. You've
Oh
already
man.
got me 7 times, dog. You want more money?
Like I was convinced that they sold that game on a demo. I'm sure of it. Like
Mm,
there's no way they had a full game ready for it to come out and it came out to be that. Like it was just that's probably one
mm.
of the worst game launches I've ever seen, like in the last 10 years.
Ooh, I know. I feel like, but like, what's that one game that's like a live service to try to compete with Overwatch but died immediately? That Sony like put like a $1 billion into or some shit.
It was a Sony exclusive?
Yeah, it came out for like a week, then like got canceled and just delisted immediately. I'm forgetting how it was. It was the worst. Yep, you know what I'm talking about. It was like the worst launch in gaming history.
Yeah, it
Concord.
launched and like I think
Yep.
it had like 1K players like max, like tops, and like
Mm-hmm.
within 3 days of launch it had like an average player count of like 80 maybe.
Oh my god! Wait, what game was this?
I forget.
Concord. It was Concord.
Concord, there you go.
It is
Concord.
known as it's known as the biggest gaming fail of all time.
Oh, this game. I've genuinely never heard of this game.
I just died in Minecraft.
Yeah, it's like a unique new IP Sony thing or something. I don't know. They just made a new game, and it's like they didn't want it to succeed. Like they just didn't market it at all. After the game came out, like I think it was up for a week or two before it was announced they'd be shutting the servers down.
Oh my god!
And when they announced they were shutting the servers down, it had a spike in players because people were going in and trying to like get the achievements or something. They were trying to grind out the achievements before the server shut down. So like what they would do is they would log into the game, they would like get into a match, and then every round would end within seconds because everyone would just go and jump off the map to kill themselves, so that the games would go quickly, so they could rack up like games and get like XP and shit. So like
Oh my
like
god,
after they announced the
terrible.
game was shutting down, like all of the games, like every match is just everyone suiciding within the first 2 seconds of the match starting. Every single match.
They must have lost a fortune on this game on the
I think
development.
they
side.
spent $150 million on it or something.
Oh my god! Did they even
They made,
did
like,
they
no
even make
money.
half of that back on
No.
pre-order? I mean, on
No.
release?
No. Dude, they sold like maybe a few thousand copies tops, like if maybe. And not only that, but they refunded everyone.
It was
Oh,
meant
it's
to be
just
like
it's like
apparently it was
almost
meant to
like
be
kind of like Cyberpunk.
it was meant to be like their answer to Overwatch 2 as well. It was meant to be like their answer, like their own like
Not
Overwatch
even.
universe thing. It was bad.
I'm just waiting on GTA 6. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be 2026, right? GTA 6
Yeah.
2026.
A whole
Honestly,
year,
I
man.
stopped caring. I'm not gonna lie. For GTA 6, I stopped caring. Bro, what?
He said, "Bro, what?"
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I see. I ain't gonna lie. I had those withdrawals earlier this year, but then when I got that confirmation date, I was like, okay. I have was it consumers confidence again?
No.
So you
I
telling me right
trust.
now? So you telling me right now you do not care that GTA 6 is about to come out like in a year time span?
If GTA 6 comes out, I'm not gonna be rushing to the store to buy it immediately. I gotta stop caring 2 years ago.
I'm telling you
Dang,
that's got to be full cap.
that's
I'm
crazy.
dead ass.
That's a crazy. I mean, I don't blame you, low key. I do not blame you. I do agree that honestly, I stopped giving a fuck about GTA 6. Probably,
That game
I don't
came out
know.
when I was in middle school.
Oh
I'm
God.
22.
Honestly, I feel like the game has gotten more jokes, memes, and hype over it not being released than it would be
It being
released.
released.
Yeah, when it gets
Oh, for
released,
sure.
like it's literally just gonna shoot down. Seriously, they're gonna
I
be like,
just
"Oh,
want
now
the.
it's
I
out.
mean,
We can't make
I don't
jokes
know
about it
about that.
anymore." I
That's
mean,
I
true.
just want the
I
game
can't
out so I never
co-sign
hear
on
a
that. I
GTA
just
6
can't.
meme again.
That trailer has shown the
Boy,
ass,
that
jokes,
trailer has
massive
shown
jokes.
me everything, and I mean
ass.
everything.
You saw.
I mean, just the details, and just some of the finer things in life,
Nigga,
The
that they
don't you
put
fire
dare
into
be
that
thing.
lying.
game.
You
It
don't you
it
dare
was
be lying.
crazy, right?
You saw simulated jiggle physics. You said I
Whoa,
need
whoa,
GTA
whoa,
6
whoa!
right now
No,
for those
no,
trips.
no, no! I'm talking about
We're not
the
even talking
bubble.
about the jiggle. We talking
Bro,
all right.
I'm talking
That
about the
that scene
bubbles
where
in
he's in
the
the pool
beers.
and that beer bottle is like dripping beer, and you see the
Yeah, the
bubbles
bubbles in the
inside.
beers. The
Bro, it's like
windows.
You
The
know what else is in
shades
that
and the
trailer?
reflective
A whole
shit.
lot of ass.
Yeah, totally not the one of the main characters. Main assets. But that's fine, fine.
That's
Oh
fine.
my god.
like the
Nigga
first
saw
GTA that's gonna actually have ray tracing on launch. Like,
a whole lot of ass immediately and said, I need that game.
Honestly, I saw it and I was like, you know what? I think I might buy the collector's edition. I'm gonna be honest with you.
yeah, apparently
Okay.
it's also supposed to have destructible buildings now. Like, I don't know if that's a real thing.
Oh,
Not to the idea of where you would knock a full building down, but like you'll shoot a crater will actually implode into the
Hell
building.
no.
I thought you was on some like the finals destruction. I was about to say, dang, dude.
It's not gonna have finals destruction.
True,
Rockstar
true.
cares about the quality of their games. They want the game to look good, and like that level of destruction just doesn't look good. Like it looks like crap.
And
I
pl-
think I
and
think the best
plus,
example of anything even remotely similar that I've ever seen is in Rainbow Six, and it's very heavily limited. Like, okay, these walls are destructible, these are like semi-destructible. Like you can break these, like the floors, like you can break them a little bit, but there's like, like it's not fully destructible. And even then, like
Yeah.
it looks okay.
You know, it was the only game that had that level of complexity. You remember Red Faction? You could actually do that. Like,
I mean, you could do
blow.
that in the finals too. It doesn't look good.
Mm.
the finals, it just looks cartoony.
Y'all sleeping on Battlefield? Battlefield One still.
Battlefield's
Battlefield
destruction
was
is
all right
crazy too.
about it. It had a
I
decent
love
bit of
Battlefield destruction.
destructibility to the environment, but like it's not fully destructible. Like certain aspects of the environment are destructible, and that's what makes it look good. Is like the developers can
Hmm.
actually like design specifically how these things are going to break apart and destruct, and design the environment specifically around that. When you make a gigantic map, if you want to do something like finals level destruction, it's never going to look good because you can never anticipate how the player is going to break it. You can't program it exactly for every single possible thing that's ever going to happen. So it's just not gonna look good, and like especially like if you want like a realistic like lighting thing like in GTA, it's even easier in the finals because like it's a little more stylized in the finals. But like GTA 6 is going for full realism. It's
Hmm.
incredibly hard to do destructible environments with full realism like that because you can't bake any of the lighting. Like you can't do any static lighting. It has to all be
Hmm.
dynamic at runtime, which means you're gonna like blow up your GPU trying to render the game. It's not gonna work. It's gonna look like shit and run bad at the same time because that level of lighting is just not possible in a destructible environment. It's just not gonna
Hmm.
happen.
No, I'm fully just. I'm. To be fair, I got burnt out of GTA 5 because of how much I played it, dog.
Dude, I don't even like. Dude, I don't even play them. I've never done the GTA multiplayer. When I play GTA 5, I load in the game. I run the fucking script with the cheats and just like set the speed on the car really really fast, increase the mass on the car, disable police, and just go like run people over and ram into other cars, like send them flying across the map. Like it's just do that for 10 minutes and then get bored. Like that's all I do.
I'm playing GTA Online. The main things that like mainly kind of burned me out of the game were the fucking hover bikes and hover cars that came out.
Oh yeah, the oppressors.
Mm.
That's
When the
that they
Marshall Oppressor came out, I
yeah
damn near
that,
I
that
quit the game.
killed the game really quickly because it was just like, why
It's
is
such a
motorcycle able to fly? And it's like it's super evasive and
Why
yeah
does
it
it
was
have homing rockets on a
yeah.
flying motorbike that can get you across the map in a couple seconds?
But like, why not though?
It ruined the game. High key, it was so bad. It
Like
was so bad.
at this point it's like it's more of a nuisance to try and take them out than
Mm,
just instead of like going into a private lobby. It's like, why am I getting grief trying to do these small little tasks and they're coming in it like if you get an oppressor nine if you see an oppressor 9 times out of 10, they're not playing casually. They're gonna cause mayhem, right? And then to
mm,
the point of the idea of the insurance system that they had in the game, it never decentivized anyone to just stop killing you or blowing up your own personal vehicles, right? You're
mm.
constantly going to have to keep going all the way back or calling your mechanic to order your car and all this or whatever, whatnot. You keep getting grieved, right? To the point where you have to go in passive mode. But then
Mm.
passive mode doesn't allow you to experience, the physics of the game because you're like in ghost mode or whatever. So it's just like, why do I have to do this to combat this
That
person? Like,
that and there are still ways to kill you while you're in passive mode.
yeah, it's like what's what's at this point, is there a system outside of the bat sports lobby that's going to limit people from trying to kill? Because it should be a optional type of thing, kind of like like
Mm.
World of Warcraft where it's like you kind of have to agree to do something to where it's like, but not constantly I gotta go jump lobby to lobby, but then everybody with an oppressor is playing like this. It's
It's just
like
all
no end in
multiplayer
sight.
games are like that. All multiplayer games are all gonna have like just like toxic griefers if it's structured that way. Like people are gonna
And
do it.
then
They're gonna ruin your
you're
time.
100% right. But the worst part about it, right, is Rockstar is literally only going after the little guys when it comes to like when people, because these aren't the guys that are like grinding out in the game. These are hackers that are doing this, right? They're coming in the game with billions of dollars. They got super cheap pools, right? All the cars, all the apartments or whatever, and then Rockstar's anti cheat pool is ridiculously small. Like they almost don't do anything. Like you know what I mean? Like
Dude,
People
they
are going on.
literally just blew up the whole game on Steam Deck to put Battle Eye on there because the cheating problem is so bad.
Yeah,
Like,
but it
they're
took them
doing
so
what they
long to
can.
do it.
Well, because
Like,
they didn't want to break the game. Like, you understand, integrating an anti-cheat into an old game isn't, like, it's not like you just snap your fingers and bam, it has anti-cheat now. Like, you
yeah,
actually have to put effort into integrating the anti-cheat. Not only that, but there's other issues. Like, there's lots of people that play the game on Linux. Like, the Steam Deck. Like, tons of people play the game on Steam Deck. If you add anti-cheat on there, like, technically they have, like, Linux versions of the anti-cheat that work under Proton. But, like,
mhm.
if you do that, then what you do is now cheaters can play the game on Linux or through, like, whatever, through Proton. And because the anti-cheat is running in a special mode that doesn't run the full kernel driver, it's a lot easier to cheat. I don't really agree with kernel level anti-cheat in general. I don't think it's necessary. I think devs should focus their effort towards server-side anti-cheat. But, like, it's not easy to do when you have this old game and everything was built, years and years and years ago, and you have people that are going in and breaking the game and cheating in there. It's not an easy problem to solve, and especially when you consider, like Rockstar is doing other shit. Like, they have other shit to work on than GTA 5
Right.
for the most part. Like, if people are cheating in just hot lobbies, like, it's nobody, it's no one really plays stock GTA anyway. They all play 5M.
Yeah, yeah. 5M
No,
is
but
awesome.
now Q.
No,
Q.
wait, what? Oh, yes. Sorry, but damn, my bad. I didn't know. I know that was my
My
key. That was
nigga,
my
my
key.
nigga, what do you
My
see?
bad.
Alrighty,
I'm throwing.
okay,
I'm
okay.
throwing. I'm throwing.
I'm gonna ask the question, okay? So, what are
Okay.
your 3 to top 5 favorite video games? Or go ahead, King.
All right. All right.
Okay. The other thing I was going to say was if you have a difficulty picking it, if you lost your memory or you had amnesia and you wanted to play three games, if you had 3 games that you want to replay, what would be those 3 games?
All right. 3 games that if I lost my memory, I would
Mhm.
love to play again for the first time. Honestly, number one is most definitely going to be Metal Gear Solid 5. No, no, not 5. 3. Metal Gear Solid 3.
My
I love
man.
that game to death. Me and my dad literally grew up on that game, and honestly, playing that for the first time again would be like magical, man. Like that game is a masterpiece. I love it. I love every second of it. Second game that I'd play with no memory or having amnesia or whatever. It would be Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I would love to play that game again with no
Ooh,
memory or nothing, dude. Just going out in the open water, getting into
that's a really good
massive
game.
fucking ship fights, and like getting into massive like gun battles on my ship and stuff like that. Man, I love that about that game. And then the system they had about with fishing, and you were on a tiny boat and you were like throwing a spear at it like a giant great white shark and stuff like that. And then the way you used to upgrade your boat, man, I love that game. Probably one of the best Assassin's Creed games that's out there. Then my last one would definitely have to be Uncharted 2.
Ooh, that's a game
Uncharted
right there.
2. Uncharted 2 is a really, really, really good game. Probably the best we've seen of Nathan Drake besides maybe Uncharted 4, but Uncharted 2 is a cult classic in my opinion. It's great.
That
I love
intro
it.
can't be beat.
Literally, like the theme
You
music
hanging
cannot
from
be
a
beat.
yeah, like hanging from a train, bro, on the snow mountain. Like no game intro in the history of games can ever top that introduction, bro. I'm sorry.
Literally, literally, you go in thinking what is going on. Like literally, I love games like that. They drop you in the middle of like some crazy scenario, and basically you paying through the whole game wondering how did I get to that point, you know?
Yeah, bro,
And
I love that. I love that scene. Like that
and,
game is just glorious.
and that's what kind of happened also with another game I really love, Metal Gear Solid 5. Like they drop you, you're just randomly in the hospital. You don't know what's going on. And then like you get caught up in some like flashbacks, or if you played the previous installment, which was like basically um
Demo. They
the
charge
demo,
you
yeah.
for that shit. That shit pisses me off.
Oh yeah, yeah. They charged for the demo. It was Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. It was great demo. Not gonna lie, great demo. I was kind of mad that they did a demo and then released the game like probably like a year later. It pissed me off, but I mean it was fine. I got through it.
Couldn't been worse than when Hideo left and they came out with a full demo for a game full price.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid.
That
And
fucking one game. That shit
Hideo
was
didn't really leave. He got fired.
he got fired. They fired his ass. They didn't like he was supposed to win an award too, and he wasn't even allowed in his own award section
It was the
of
Game
the
Awards.
Game
They didn't
Awards.
let
Yeah,
him go to the
literally.
Game Awards at all.
And then they dropped that shit. I said, you know what? I was so glad I didn't buy that game. You literally play the same mission over and over and over. And I said,
Yeah,
there's no way you guys were thinking it was okay to get away with selling this heap of shit for $65, and everybody went and bought that game, and it was just
are
it
you
was
talking
sad.
about Ground Zeroes or Phantom? The Phantom Pain.
No, Survive.
Oh,
Phantom Pain was
Survive.
a
Yeah,
good game.
Survive
What
was
you
bad.
mean?
Survive was
was bad.
horrible. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Survive was hot garbage, but Phantom Pain was a good game. Fuck you,
Phantom
mean?
Yeah, that's
Pain.
what.
Okay,
Yeah. Survive
Phantom
was the
Pain.
worst game I've ever played in my
Listen,
life.
Dude, you know
listen.
on the title screen, or not the title screen, like the beginning of Survive, when you write your name on the clipboard, the fucking initials for the people on there, initially when the game day one released, it said fuck Konami. And then people pointed that out, that if you put the initials next to each other, all the characters, it says fuck Konami. It got changed. Because
Oh my
Konami was actually
God.
like, holy shit,
Like
the fucking
I can't
developers.
believe that was actually a so whoever greenlit that project, bro. I swear I wanted to bomb rush that developing
On
studio. They're like,
God. On
how did y'all
God.
get away with this? This game sold for $65+. And the thing is, one of my friends that love Metal Gear series, he bought it on his birthday, and
No.
he bought us copies just for us to play with.
Damn.
30 minutes in,
No.
I said, this could not be the full game, bro. We're playing the same mission
Yep.
over and
Mm-hmm.
over and over. I said, is this for real? Is this a real game? I
Yep.
said, who released this shit? This is a cash grab.
And, and the story was so mid. Mid. It's so mid. Like I
So,
played, like I beat Survive completely, and I looked back at myself and was like, I just wasted probably a good chunk of my life playing that game. Like it was bad, man. Like probably that was probably one of the worst games I ever picked up, bro.
They was
That
charging you for
that
save slots, dog. It was bad.
charging me for save slots, bro, and charging me extra money to try to customize my character, bro. Get out, bro. It was the same
That's
feeling
Konami.
I low key felt when I got towards the end of Phantom Pain. You know, spoiler warning for this, but Phantom Pain, I love it. Don't get me wrong. Great game, great story. Hearsay, you know, the last thing Hideo Kojima worked on before he got fired. But it is an incomplete game. It is a very incomplete game. By the If you ever played it, the last act where I don't know when like Eli or Liquid Snake or whatever took
Yeah,
the
when they take
Sapphalampolets,
the philanthropist.
and they do nothing. They just do nothing. They do nothing. That's where like the game ends. He takes Sapphalampolets and he goes away with Psychomantis, and that's it. And then you're wondering like, oh, what's next? Well, the whole entire section before they fired Hideo Kojima was cut because they couldn't finish it.
Mm.
And I had to go online to figure out like what were they trying to do, and apparently uh it was like some I think um he took Sapphalampus to an island. The island was full of the parasites throughout the game. Snake and Revolver Ocelot land there. They talk to him and try to get him out of there because apparently they're gonna bomb rush the entire island because it had the cordyceps or whatever. And after watching that, I was like, this still does not make sense to me. And I was pissed because it's such a good game, but it's just incomplete.
No, I trust me
Man.
when I say I hear you. I literally spent when I was like Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain was one of the first games I ever bought as a youngster, right? Because I was like I had no money. I sold my fucking DSi XL games. I sold like Pokemon Diamond, I
Mm-hmm.
sold Sonic Rush, and I sold one more game to get Metal Gear Solid 5 Defense of Pain, and I played the fuck out of that game. I loved it to
Mm-hmm.
death.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sad when I heard about that fucking ending being cut. I was sad
Yep.
about everything. And I was like, damn, dog. I made my whole playthrough non-lethal 2 was fun as fuck, and just damn.
Yep. All that work for nothing, right?
Mm, great game though, phenomenal game. Just the ending just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. I definitely get what you mean. Okay.
Mm,
I do have a question for y'all though. In y'all
mm-hmm,
opinion, since y'all just said the best games, right?
mm-hmm.
What in your opinion is the worst games y'all ever played?
You
And
just
like
heard it.
wait. One at a time. What real quick to answer this. I like that. But one at a
Mm.
time. One at a time.
I mean, you just got mine. Metal Gear Survive.
Okay,
That's
that's
gotta be
one. That's one. Is that like your number one or like number three?
if I had to say, that's probably going down as number one for sure.
Dang, dude. Okay, number two. What's your number two?
Oh, you said 3 games?
Yeah, three games. Give me three of your worst games in your opinion.
Ooh, I mean, I haven't really played that many terrible games
Mm-hmm.
in my experience. I'm pretty selective with gaming too. So it's like
Yeah,
typically if I spend, you probably have to rotate back to me because if I spend money on a game, 9 times out of 10, I know if it's going to be bad or not. I'll know if it's bad.
true.
I'm not spending that initial cash. You're like, that's what this because Survive was a gift to me. He bought it
Uh,
on his birthday and gave it to us. I was like, this has been the worst game that I knew. I knew I was never going to spend money on this game.
mm-hmm,
It was that
mm-hmm.
bad. Like, and I can just give all 3 slots just to survive. That's how
Dang,
bad it was for
survive,
me.
survive, survive.
It's
Bro
like,
said,
bro,
I could have went to the casino and spent like $60 at the casino and got more enjoyment than me playing Metal Gear Survive.
it's
Mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
bad, bro. Like,
I have a couple of like I got like four of them for you. Okay. Besides Metal Gear Solid Survive, the worst games I've ever played, my number one is definitely gonna have to go to the Avengers game.
Mm,
The Avengers
oh,
game, dude,
yeah, that's
that
crazy.
was horrible. It had so much potential too, and they just dropped the ball.
the live service, it had great combat, but it was a live service.
Literally, the live service ruined everything about that game, and the story was mid. The voice acting was probably the best part of the entire thing. And the
Mm.
core gameplay was just horrible, man. It was so repetitive. You're doing the same missions over and over and over and over again. It just made me want to like I don't know, it just made me want to like I don't know, just peel off my skin. It was horrible.
Mm. What is
Another one
another?
I have to say also, let me see. I'm gonna go to my game library real quick for this one. All right. Next one I'm gonna have to say, yep, the Suicide Squad killed the Justice League game. That nah,
They did Kevin and Cotton were dirty in that.
He said, let me pull up the receipts real quick.
dude, literally. Oh man, dude, it was bad, man. It was just horrible. Same thing, same concept. Gameplay was repetitive. Um, voice acting was boring, story was boring, and then like after you beat the game, it like lets you start doing online stuff. Tell me why the online and the rest of the game, you know, okay, at the end you kill Brainiac, right? And then apparently you figure out, oh my god, there's 13 more Brainiacs, right?
Mm.
So it sets up this thing where you have to kill all 13 Brainiacs to get the full end of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why the same missions you did in the main story is the same missions you're gonna have to do for the 13 more Brainiacs, and it made you grind them like for hours just to get to the boss fight. So you couldn't just like quickly get through all of them. Nah, you were spending at least 3 to 4 hours grinding the same mission over and over again for these credits, so it'll allow you to unlock the ability to play the game.
No, dude, I heard that the game was a live service, and I heard that Rocksteady was doing it, and I was just like, I heard all about the development trouble. I just said, I'm gonna dodge this one. I'm just gonna I'm gonna watch it, see how it plays out. If it's good, I'll buy it. And you know what? I never regret my money. This is why I don't pre-order nothing no more. Games aren't worth pre-ordering anymore.
Okay, you know what? I remember one game that comes to mind when Dragon Ball Z games were really, really hot. When they came out with Sagas, that had to be the worst game ever come out.
Damn.
That was a pretty bad game. That or Burst Limit. Burst Limit was also bad.
Damn.
Burst Limit was so bad that you could shoot a Kamehameha blast at your opponent, and they cut it off with a cut scene, like
what the fuck?
Yeah, like you could be fighting mid game, you shoot a Kamehameha blast, it's like right in front of your opponent. It will just disappear, and they'll have like a cut scene. The blast goes nowhere. The health did nothing. You actually lost Key, but there's no accountability of where that blast went. He was just talking about some enhancement, and during the middle of the battle, he just continued the fight from point blank.
Damn.
What's a really bad game I can think of? Hold on, let me check my library.
I don't know what like. I've never really like had a bad game that I've played before. Usually I pick.
Thought you played Fortnite.
Oh, okay. I pick, pick and choose. I haven't really thought about like any terrible games that I played.
Yeah, I feel like most games that are bad that people experience, it's always usually a gift. If I'm spending my hard-earned cash, $60, I want to make sure I know I'm buying this solid game.
No, dude, like I said,
mm-hmm.
like I said, if the game is coming out, I am actively watching it. I'm making sure the development's good. If I hear even one modicum of a bad thing, it's a game I'm excited about. I'm waiting until it comes out. Waiting a couple of days after. I got a trusted reviewer for it. I got them looking at the game, and if they like the game, then I'm probably gonna like the game. Then I buy it. I don't pre-order shit no more.
Real. I stopped pre-ordering shit as well.
I'm honestly the only one that I have like on my roster right now is Stellar Blade.
I need to get Stellar Blade so bad.
It's your birthday / Christmas gift. It's on my thing.
Aww.
It's on my thing. I'm waiting for it to come out. Actually, it's supposed to come out in June or July. For
I thought
Steam.
Stellar Blade was already out.
No. For you, it's out. For Steam, it's not. I'm waiting for the Steam version, but I mean, me waiting for your copy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I figured we could play it together in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be down. Yeah. Honestly, you know what? I'm just been waiting on it to go on sale, and it's never been on sale. It's always been
It'll never be on
70 sale. It's never on sale, and I'm like, okay, bruh.
Jump Force.
Oh, I've heard either good or bad things about that game. Like, I saw the DLC one time was going to be JoJo's, and I wanted to get Jump Force and experience it so bad. But apparently, I've heard like the online servers were just horrible.
There was no rematch button for like 6 months, dog.
Oh no, a rematch button.
In a fighting game?
No rematch button in a fighting? That's insane.
That is crazy.
Right, but you're telling me Jump Force was worse than J-Stars? Because J-Stars, bro, I swear, when I bought J-Stars, that has been the clunkiest fighting game I ever dropped money on.
Dude,
that game I spent money on, and that game was horrible, in my opinion.
Dude, I feel like it's just anime fighters. Either we either get like a phenomenal game, or we get shit, and we get shit 9 times out of 10.
True.
There's so much potential with it too. Like, it's literally like fighting based characters. Like,
yep.
Like, dude, how can you mess this up?
Dude,
I think that's
when I tell you,
you're trying to balance stuff. Like, you got the One Punch Man fighting game. How do you balance that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
How they balance is like they basically make Saitama. Like, you have to wait. Like, I think you have to survive almost the entire match of fought Saitama, and at the very end of the match, if you make it all the way out there, then he can one shot anybody.
That's horrible. That's super horrible. That does not sound like a very enjoyable game experience for either person, right? Like,
Like unless he's playing unless I tell him, then you just I don't know how that happens. I never seen a
Yeah, I'm
gameplay
playing
of that one.
survival mode for like two to 3 minutes, based on and the thing is, the game is going off of actual lore where you can one punch suicide anybody. So it's like, what is the end
Mm.
game, and how do you get a competitive perspective of playing this game? And you just don't. But
Was it
J-Star
the
Path has been super terrible. I'm talking about that's the clunkiest fighting system I've ever played in my life. Like, it was bad.
Also, like I feel like Jump Force had like the biggest open layup. It could have been one of the greatest fighting games, like
Yeah,
all
anime
for
it
sure.
fighters
had to
out there.
all it had to do was just have each character has separate health bars, right? It had to have a rematch button from the start. It had to balance Ichigo and Zoro because Ichigo and Zoro have been busted since the beta. There was never a balance patch, not even one, and that's all
Shit.
they needed to do. And it wasn't any of that. Everybody is it's a shared health bar. Uh, Characters that were busted in the beta are still busted. Just it was bad. It was bad.
I felt
The
like the
game
same way for that as well with have you ever experienced that Jujutsu Kaisen fighting game?
I never bought it. I was
I
so excited for it. I
I
was
never
so
bought
excited.
I never bought it either, but like I know it was bad. Like I've
I was
heard like I think every like after fight is just a random cutscene. It's not like any of the characters getting together or anything like that. It was just a cutscene.
I was so hyped for that game, dog. I said JJK fighting game and it's duos and you could jump this. I looked at my homeboy Third and I said, Third, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna play Toto, you gonna play Yuji. We better jump these guys online. And he said,
Uh
fuck
huh.
yeah. And the game was just ass. And I looked at it and I just said, I'm not playing this. And but Third
Real.
was like, I have hope. Maybe it's good. He bought it. He refunded it so damn fast.
That's the same thing with me and the Suicide Squad game, bro. I pre-ordered it when I heard it come out, and then I saw
Mm-hmm.
the reviews. I immediately called up PlayStation and refunded it
Mm.
immediately.
If the game is good, guess what? I get a good game. If the game is bad, that refund is gonna go crazy.
Uh huh. Because imagine if GTA comes out and it's a major flop.
They,
I
they,
feel like
it's just no way.
It's just not gonna happen.
There's
it can't
no way.
happen. Yeah, they can't. There's no way they can fumble, right? Right?
Rockstar's been cooking since like GTA 5 came out, like almost a decade, almost 2 decades.
I don't think so. They've
Okay.
been working on it since Red Dead 2.
Yeah, it's been development since Red Dead 2. But I do want to say the only time I saw Rockstar drop the ball was for the do you remember the GTA trilogy remaster or whatever?
Yep, but that wasn't that a different studio, not Rockstar?
Yeah, it was a different
It was
studio. They just
contracted out.
Okay, that
yeah,
makes sense. Apparently they're going to do the same thing for GTA 4,
yeah, I saw that.
but yeah,
They're gonna milk every fucking version of every other GTA they've had. They're gonna milk that shit.
I mean, it makes sense to do. The games, they don't run very well on modern hardware, and
that is
it's
true.
very low effort to upscale all the textures and then re-release it with a couple of bug fixes.
The only game that I did not sign off for Rockstar was LA Noire. I could not get into that game.
Oh, LA Noire was great. I love that game.
It's a
It's
very
just like
cool game. It's just it's not very
like
well
the
executed,
concept is okay,
unfortunately.
but it just it's just I felt like it lacked for me. Like just it didn't seem to grab my attention. It just seemed kind of boring, you know.
Mm.
I mean, the concept is very cool. The execution of it was almost good. The problem with LA Noir is that the like mechanic where you determine if someone is lying is really easy because they gave
Doubt.
the direction that they gave to the actors for the mocap was like
Mhm.
act like you're lying, and so they act like they're lying, and now it's obvious that they're lying. But they did that to make it so that if you're not very good at reading faces or not very good at video games, you can still play the game. And it
Mm-hmm.
just made it like, this is kind of crap because you just go in and it's like, is this person lying? And they're doing the face that they make when they're lying,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
then so they're lying, and then you win. It's easy, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of like we have these advanced facial animations, so you can you have to work to know when someone's lying or not. You got to read their facial animation. It kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Mhm.
So it's just that's like why it wasn't so good. But the facial animation tech was, beyond, even some things that we have today, and in some, in all aspects it's not perfect, but like you look at some particularly well curated bits and pieces from that game, like in the cutscenes especially, like the facial animations look more real than most games today. It's like if they took that same technique and they did it with like modern tech, I feel like they could probably do something really cool with it. But it seemed to be a lot of effort, so I don't know if they will. But
Hmm.
it's a really cool concept. I wish they would try something similar again.
I have another game, Gotham Knights. Has any of y'all played
Yep.
that one?
I also avoided
The
that one.
Arkham Knight game.
No, the
Gotham.
Gotham Knights, the game that
Oh.
came after that, technically in the storyline.
I've not even heard of it.
It it was it's the Batman game basically that's with Jason Todd, Nightwing, Barbara Gordon, and
The one with
Tim
mixed
Drake.
reviews on Steam.
Yes, that one.
Oh, yeah. I have
It
not. I didn't.
was
I didn't hear of this. I've never heard of this.
the best thing about it was the combat. I fuck with the combat, but the story was bland as and predictable as all hell. And honestly, just I don't know, story like I don't know, the traveling around in
Oh
Gotham was
yeah.
just boring. That was a very bad game.
I'm 28 seconds into the trailer. This game looks like shit.
Yeah, it's bad. The only thing people really liked about it was Barbara Gordon's ass. Barbara Gordon in that game was looking great. When people bring that game up, and then also like the Suicide Squad game, they bring it close together and compare it to one of the greatest Batman games ever released and ahead of its time. Arkham Knights. It, it looks like Arkham Knights is a better game than
It
both of
is.
them
It
combined.
looks
It
It
is.
is.
It looks like more of a game that you'll see now, but it was made back in what, 2015, 14, 13 even?
It was ahead of its time. It was ahead of
It
its
was
time.
completely ahead of its time. That game got tender love and care and aftercare after everything. Like
Okay.
it was such a good game.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in on this session of What is Your Favorite Video Game? Next week, we will be covering Crash Outs Among the Multiverse. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.